Oh no, I'm in there. I'm in here. Can y'all see me? Come back, Michael and Ken. It cut me off because I was switching. Come back, y'all. Come back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back in this view. Come back. Come back. Hey, y'all. My fault. Come back on in. Yay, I'm back on the tablet because my phone was about to literally die. I have like 12% on my phone, so I was trying really hard to get on this tablet. So it cut me off once I went live on the tablet because I can't be live on my phone and on the tablet. So come on in because we're going to get started on this Roe versus Wade topic. I've been waiting to talk about this one. I'm back on the tablet, fellas. So come on in here because my phone was literally about to die. So yeah, I can now go on my phone and look at my notes. Hey, C. Tina, thank y'all. We actually had a good amount of people in here. Come on back, y'all. Come on back. I'm going to wait for everybody to come back. I'm going to wait for the fellas to get back on so we can start talking, so we can move forward. And it's my fault that we started late, but I had some tech issues. Hey, Nova, you know it is. You know it's about to be a good one. Hey, Kenny Ken, where y'all at? Oh yeah, we finna give it to you, Nova. You know how we do on this podcast show. I feel like we had wardrobe changes. These are just wardrobe changes, y'all. Look, that's them funny ass androids for you, bruh.
Oh, I know. That's why I moved on.
I'm about to break up with this one. I'm about to take this bitch right back to the Best Buy and get me a fucking iPad.
And I'm about to throw this motherfucking Windows laptop out the window. That's what I'm about to do.
I know that's right. All right, Michael, come. I was waiting for all y'all to come back.
Apple, if your laptops work as good as your phones is, I might as well give me a MacBook quick.
Right.
Quick.
That's what I'm trying to do, man. Hey, Michael, I got to get back on my tablet. So that's why the live kicked me off because I couldn't be on my phone and my tablet. Sorry.
Yeah, so it's the Android's fault, right? Yeah.
Look, yes, listen, y'all. We need for y'all to support the show, okay? Tell your friends, tell your auntie, your cousins, your niece, nephew, so we can start charging folks to support the show so we can get some more equipment and then we can get some merch, you know what I'm saying? And then y'all can promote for us and then we can start giving out little gifts and shit, little cards, little gift cards, you get your burger or something, you know, because time's getting hard. Just letting that be known.
I got an Android. Mine's working just fine. So
no, it's not.
I don't know.
It's not.
I don't know what to tell you.
No, it's not.
No,
I mean,
you was breaking up earlier. You was breaking up earlier too.
Now, I'm just saying.
Not
saying.
Somebody said
Terry.
Team
Android. Let's go.
Fuck y'all androids.
Don't say that. Those are your supporters. Don't say that. No, Ken, you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started into this Roe versus Wade thing that's been going on. So they overturned it, meaning now abortions are in certain states becoming illegal. Some states are allowing up to not yet. Texas.
Yet. So the
Texas.
vote has been turned. So the vote has been turned over to the state, right? So now each state
has to decide, right,
whether or not it is illegal or legal to have abortions within the state.
So some states have already done it. Virginia is allowing up to, you can have an abortion up to 15 weeks. The only way you can go past 15 weeks is if there's rape, incest, the child is going to be born with multiple deficiencies, or the mother might lose her life, or some type of health, issue where they might die or something like that. Then you can have the abortion up to the 3rd trimester. I heard Texas had banned it already because Megan Thee Stallion made a statement at the BET Awards saying how Texas was embarrassing her. And
I don't think we should pay attention to anything that Megan Thee Stallion has to say.
I knew you was gonna
I'm
say
only saying that because, like, as soon as she got on stage, the first thing she said was,
Spirit.
"Man, I'm tired of all these stupid ass men." And it's like, why are you trying to like start this gender war? It's like, first of all, it was the Supreme Court that made the decision, and you do realize that there was also 3 women that's also in the Supreme Court, right? So it's like
So
you're already fucking up by saying like all men and just blame like
She
like
was
just
trying. I
blaming
think
did
men
she
she
like
was
say
we
trying
had
to
all
like
say the
men?
the
men
whole
in the.
purpose is that men like
Did she say all
started
men,
this
or did
shit.
she say stupid ass men?
She said stupid ass men, but she was
Correction, she
taught.
did say stupid ass men.
It said
Correction.
if you don't consider yourself to be a stupid ass,
Right.
don't
She
don't.
was talking about them stupid asses that's running the government. That's what
There
she
you
was
go.
talking about.
Yeah, but there's
But
also stupid ass women up there too. So
but I guess she meant the majority. That's what I'm thinking. She meant the majority are probably
fair.
men. But
And most of the Republican Party are a lot of men who are making decisions for women who have
right,
uteruses, who
right,
are
and they
dealing with
don't.
this particular situation, and they don't bear any weight. It doesn't bear any weight on them at
Yeah,
all.
but doesn't like as far as like votes and decision making, like it has to be a majority. So it's like even the women that's also a part of the Supreme Court, they have to vote as well.
They
It's
do.
like, do they not have a
You
voice?
are right.
Like
But
they
think
have
about it.
that they
If
have to
The
it's
put in their voice
majority,
too.
but
but
the
So
if
it's
it's
majority
like
are men.
so
the
as yeah, I
majority
know
of
majority
men,
of them are men. Oh, I'm sorry, Christine, go ahead.
but if the majority of men vote for that to happen, and there's only 3 women that vote for it not to happen, the majority is going to win. So, and Megan the Stallion got like the key to the city from the mayor, stuff like that. There might be things that she knows that some of us, the common people, might not know. I'm just speaking hypothetically, but just to move on, so we don't keep going into the whole Megan the Stallion thing. What do you guys think is going to be the future for our country with this decision that has happened? I actually have seen a lot of people. Christianity and Christians talking about this situation happening and actually praising it, because they were saying that this should have never even been put in place from the beginning. That murdering, it's considered murder, and that a fetus or a life source has a heartbeat, a brain, and a spinal cord at 5 weeks. So a lot of people from the Christian community have been. No, it is. Google it. Google it right now. I swear to
Is it?
God.
Okay.
Yes. And a lot of people are saying that this was never supposed to be implemented, and the reason why it was implemented, if anybody doesn't know, Margaret Sanger was the originator of the Planned Parenthood. She actually was a racist, and you can Google her as well, anybody who doesn't believe me. She came up with Planned Parenthood and put them in urban cities and rural areas and poor areas for the agenda, thinking that our communities, we're constantly producing babies, Hispanic communities are producing babies, low income, whatever, are producing babies, and that we can't afford to keep our babies. So the plan was to put them in our communities so we could have the abortions. But turns out most people in our culture don't really believe in abortions. That's why you have more Black and brown people on assistance with their children as opposed to Caucasian people. Somebody that I know that if you Google the numbers, I don't know if you guys want to Google the numbers right now, but it's allegedly been said that Caucasian people typically have more abortions than Black people, Asian people, and Hispanic people. And I might have to, I know the Hispanic people ain't really out here aborting their babies because they be having a lot of kids. Anyways, so it's just a different perspective to think that maybe, have you guys ever maybe thought that the reason why they did this was to preserve their own race? If the numbers are true and Caucasians are having more abortions than any other race of people, is there a possibility that they might have done this to preserve their own culture? Because black and white is mixing, white and Asian is mixing, and you know, everybody's mixing. So the white race is starting to diminish out and it's becoming more of a brown race because all the races are starting to mix with one another. Now I just want to add this in because we're going to end up I don't want to run over our time too much. Republican Mary Miller, I don't know if you guys saw the clip where Mary Miller thanked Donald Trump for the historic victory for white life following the overturn of Roe versus Wade. And the reason why I said what I said earlier is because there's a reason why she said that. When she said for preserving or the historic victory for white life, I just didn't understand what she meant by that. And someone brought it to my attention about the numbers with the abortions and Caucasian culture and things like that. So if you guys didn't see it.
On behalf of all the MAGA patriots in America, I want to thank you for the historic victory for white life in the Supreme Court yesterday.
So that was the clip that she made at the rally that they had for Donald Trump. And I just thought that was it, because at first I didn't understand what she meant. I was like, what does she mean by that? So what do you guys think? I want to hear from everybody in the chat. And of course, my co-hosts, my guys, y'all always are very intuitive and give some great insight. What do you guys think? Do you think that this is deeper? And also Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton, I don't know who was she with on that interview, Kenyatta? Who is that? Who's that lady?
One of the correspondents for the Today Show.
Dang, the popular lady, I can't remember her name, but yeah. she also said that Hillary Clinton also made a comment saying, I think she said, if you guys think that they're not coming for you, you're sadly mistaken. Now, I'm not sure what she meant when she made that comment, but I'm going to stop talking. I want everybody to chime in and give their opinion. Do you guys think that this decision to overturn Roe versus Wade is deeper than just taking away women's rights?
Yes. Yes. We talk about it time and time again once they overturn something, right? So like last month or beforehand, we were talking about the Don't Say Gay bill, right?
Right.
And we were talking about how it's bigger than just this particular issue. Biden made a state of address saying that this is not the only issue that we should be focusing on. It's
right.
He
sure did. He sure did.
He sure did. You have to think about all of the subsequent things that has progressed this nation to move forward in inclusion and making sure that freedom of choice is for each and every person out there. Separation of church and state. The law should not be backed up by your religion or your beliefs or your morals because
I agree with that.
Everyone does not share those same beliefs and morals. We should be able to make a decision for our own household, our own family, by our own volition, not because the law is out there telling us that we can and we can do what they'll let us do. You know what I mean? Like there is laws, right, where we can't necessarily be out there acting reckless. But what goes for me in my home, and you're telling me that I can't make the decisions about what I want to do moving forward, which may help me out. You know what I mean? Like I don't need for you over there to tell me what's right and wrong within my own home because you subscribe to that particular religion. You know what I mean?
I agree with that.
We could have the same belief system, you know what I mean? But what you believe and what you choose to do with your life, I'm not going to impose. I would not want someone to come into my home telling me what to do in my home. And I'm not going to do the exact same thing.
Right. That's
else.
like
you live your life the way that you want to live your life.
And
I'm going to live mine the way that I want to live. You know what I mean? So it becomes a situation where further on down the line, We have all of these situations that has progressed us as a community, as a society, talking about civil rights, talking about Black rights, talking about
Right.
women's rights, talking about
Right.
gay rights, LGBTQ plus, all of that. And now we're starting to regress. They are,
Right.
it's their sole purpose to try and get us back to the time where white people were in power.
Yeah, and it was, and that reminded me at that time. I don't remember what show it was we did, and we talked about that. And you mentioned that you said they're trying to take it back to the old days when they were running everything and nobody had real rights except for them, for real.
For real. You know, everything that has been placed, this has happened time and time again over the past couple of months. So the Don't Say Gay bill, we're talking about the gun laws being overturned, where it's open carry now.
You know what? I didn't even think about that. I didn't even
think about all of these situations that are benefiting conservatives and Republicans for them to be able to thrive, right?
And I specifically did think they'd overturn the gun laws for Black folks to kill each other because they know we be doing stupid shit like that anyway.
But they want us to still have babies.
Right. It doesn't make sense.
So, you know what I mean? Like, and then on top of that, like, we have a crisis when it comes to baby formula and a lot of baby supplies in general. But
food,
you can go into Kmart doesn't exist anymore, does it? But you can go into California or Walmart or any of those places and get bullets and a gun and without a license to carry. It's like certain situations like that. Like, where do we put our priorities? Like, why are you focusing in on policing a woman's uterus, but you're not worried about the fact that we just lost a whole school full of kids.
Yeah, you ain't freaking lying, dude.
Like, I never understand why.
Yeah.
Like, how are you prioritizing this thing? And we're seeing people die.
And you know what's crazy?
To give
birth
to this world.
Right. You know what? You are absolutely right. And you know what's crazy? Now that you mentioned those kids, it's like after this shit happened, that shit just blew on over. They said
don't nobody care no more.
They said they're gonna tear that school down.
It wasn't even within 1 week. The week was not over before there was killings in Harlem.
Yeah.
And killings in Texas. But nobody's talking about that too much anymore.
Hey, question. So,
go ahead.
out of all the contraceptives, as far as like not having a baby, there's 20 for women. There's 20. How many? Obviously, abortion. As far as like, I guess surgically, how many are they getting rid of? Are they getting rid of all 20 and like is like? Or
you mean
what?
like
Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas said that he was trying to get rid of all contraceptives.
He said birth control. He said condoms, Plan B.
I mean, they're not getting rid of condoms, like, because if you're going to get rid of condoms, then you're going to promote like a higher rate for STDs. So that's.
And you know what? I think they eventually will.
I think how would that make sense?
We can't say that anything is crazy right now because this is crazy.
That is crazy because like you're promoting STD like transfer.
But Michael, look, they just overturned the gun laws.
If it's based off of their belief system, then they believe that you should not be having sex before marriage.
Exactly. And you gotta remember, wait, Michael, you gotta remember. But listen.
People still get abortions.
Listen. You gotta remember, most of those people that are in the Senate and government officials, they're Christians. And
Christians still fuck too.
No, but what I'm saying, listen to what I'm saying. In their minds, they believe, like I just told you, I went to a private Christian school my whole life. And I saw some girls, and if y'all are watching this live, I'm about to call y'all out. I saw some girls on Facebook doing a whole discussion about how they were happy that this changed because people should not be having sex before marriage, getting pregnant, and killing their babies. They wholeheartedly believed in that. And then it was some other girls that were going back and forth with them on the page. They brought God into the picture, saying that even God gave us self-will to make our own choices, which I thought was a good argument, because even though technically you are not supposed to be getting rid of your babies, if you lay down and you make a conscious decision to have sex with somebody without protection, without birth control, whatever the case is, you know you can get pregnant. You know in your mind you're grown. Most of us are grown unless you're something, you know, if it's out of the ordinary case. But if you're grown and you're making a conscious decision to lay down with somebody, you know these are the consequences of having sex. How do you make a baby? You have sex, you make a baby. So if you think that, if you're thinking like that, but you've been brought up in a religion where having children out of marriage is like the biggest sin, and you're looked at as a promiscuous woman, like in my situation, or half of the women in this country that are have had babies out of wedlock and are single mothers, or where was I going with that? The whole abortion thing. So if you're a Christian and you wholeheartedly believe that these things are not morally correct, and half of the government thinks that Christianity is the correct religion, and all these rules and regulations that come along with Christianity need to be repracticed, you got to remember too, when there were slaves, the slave owners that were beating, raping the women and doing all that horrible stuff that they did to slaves were Christians.
And Barry, they plan on taking that out as well. Sex education,
all of that. They plan on taking all that shit out.
The problem that I have is that people constantly say that they would never do that. They would never do that.
They said that about the gun laws.
They would never turn over gun laws. They would never turn over abortions. They would never turn over, you know, like gay marriage and things of that nature. And then we get into a situation where we're complacent and we're content with the way that things are.
Yeah.
And then we don't act on it before it happens, and then when it happens, everyone's upset and they're mad because it happened, but we saw this coming.
Right. That's what I was gonna ask you. That's what I was gonna ask you, Michael. Did you ever think that they would? I'm gonna be real with you. I didn't think that shit was gonna go. I did not think that this overturning. I was like, that shit ain't. I was one of those people. I was like, that ain't gonna fly. I was like, the whole country gonna go crazy if they do that. So did you ever think?
Like you have a lot of women out there that's also supporting this.
I get it, but I'm asking you something else. Did you ever think that it was actually going to be overturned as quickly? We just talked about this, like a month or so ago?
Mm-hmm.
Well, after 50 years, no. I didn't think it'd be overturned. No.
Exactly. That's what we're trying to say.
The thing is that we hear about these inklings and these situations beforehand, and then we sit on it. You know what I mean? Like no one's acting on it beforehand. Not to say that.
Well, I was just about to say that though,
Ken. Like to be able to overchange it, right? But the outrage should be there. We should be upset at the inkling of hearing that these things are going to change, as opposed to when they happen, and now we're stuck with them happening. You know what I mean? So like, there's going to be situations further on down the line where things are going to happen. We see it happening time and time again. They're proving that they're trying to take rights away.
And I think what it is with us, you guys, and Michael, I think it's like, you don't want to think that these things are actually going to take place. I think that's why, like when we said they might take away condoms, you're like, no, they ain't going to do that. The STD, they don't give a fuck.
Sorry, I don't believe that. No, I don't.
Well, you can believe whatever you want. That's fine. It's your opinion. You have the right to do whatever.
But the logical reason why they would take away condoms
Listen. I'm not. I don't want to go down that whole train because I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and say. I'm not going to say that I know. I'm not going to say, I know they going to do it.
Well, I'm asking you to go off of your conspiracy theory. Like, why exactly would they take away condoms?
What I'm saying is
also a conspiracy theory. This was also a conspiracy theory.
But what I'm saying
abortions. I'm saying this was also a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, but as far as like abortions, you know, like certain abortions, like if they happen, they could prevent you from having like kids within the future because like things could go wrong with like certain parts of your insides to where it's like you can't have a baby in the future. Or like sometimes you have abortions, like certain type of defects can happen to the fucking baby to where they come out. I mean, I'm over exaggerating here, but like with one arm or one leg, or like a thumb is missing, or like a middle finger, you know, things of that nature. So,
did you ever?
I'm not for this, but I'm just
right. No, we're not saying you are.
When you go as far as saying like, oh, what's next? They're going to take away condoms. Like, I think
no, we're not saying they are. We're not saying there are. We're just it's a hypothetical thing. It's a hypothetical.
I don't think they're going to. Oh shit! My bad.
There's a possibility that they will.
This is what I was gonna say. This is what I was gonna say. Hold on. He has the right to believe whatever he wants. But look, this is what I was gonna say. Do you know they already pulling Plan Bs off the shelf?
No, yeah, we talked about that.
Okay, so they're already doing it though. Like right now at CVS and Rite Aid, I put a post in my story. They're pulling Plan Bs off the shelf. They're pulling any of those contraceptive pills off the shelf. So all we're saying is we're kind of exaggerating too. We don't know if they're going to pull condoms.
The man himself said it from his mouth that he's working towards it.
And he also said,
yeah, but that's one person out of the other, I believe it's 12 people at the Supreme Court. That's one guy.
They were working towards this in particular. They were working towards Roe versus Wade,
and it happened fast.
Time ago.
Yeah, but again, that's one person out of the other, the 12 or 13. I forget the number out of the Supreme Court. But like,
you know what else they're trying to do too? They're trying. That same guy. Also, the one guy said that he also thinks that they should reverse the Board versus Brown of Education. You know what that is?
Refresh my memory.
The segregation laws.
Segregation law.
Meaning, nigga, you might be drinking from a colored fountain.
Like,
hold on, wait, I'm just gonna say this real quick. All I'm saying is I wouldn't expect the unexpected. I'm not surprised with anything that they do anymore. I'm not saying that they're going to pull condoms. I'm not saying we're going to go back to old time segregation. But when these motherfuckers are coming on the news and social media talking about what they plan on, they want to go back to the way America used to be, make America white again, all this other shit. They have an agenda. They don't give a fuck about me. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about Barrett. They don't give a fuck about Nova. They don't give a fuck about King Shaddy, C. Tina. At this point, they don't care what color you are. It's the class that you're going to be in. And if you're going to partake in what they got going on, and if you not, you out. You out, period. So all I'm saying is you don't know. All this, everybody wants to walk around like, oh, we don't know what, I don't think they're going to, you can't think like that because they're going to hit you with the ooly wopty like they did this time. Now everybody roaming the streets, protesting on the 101 freeway, getting knocked down, getting tear gas thrown at them. Like y'all don't know that these motherfuckers been doing this since the beginning of fucking time. Like this shit ain't nothing new.
We have to also get to a certain point to understand that our fellow man's rights, once their rights are taken away, there's a possibility that our rights may be attacked next. We can't sit around and act as though we can't sit around and act as though that ain't me. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a woman, so that's not bothering me. No, we should be fighting for women's rights just as well. And I would hope that they would do the exact same thing for our rights when the time comes.
This is the time when all of us need to come together.
The same situation happened with the Don't Say Gay bill, right? And so people were saying, well, I'm not gay, so that didn't necessarily bother me. You know what I mean? Now, the same women who were for the Don't Say Gay bill, there are some women who are out there who are now upset because their rights have been taken away in terms of abortion. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, if they are attacking you, then that means that there's a possibility that they could come for me too. And I'm fighting for you. I'm fighting for everybody who is a citizen in this world and in this particular nation to be able to have rights. Like they have rights.
And this is the time, honestly,
their own lives.
Y'all, this is the time where it's us versus them.
As if it affects us.
And this is the time where it's us versus them. This is the time where that's why they be trying to distract us with all this race shit and this women against men shit. They trying to keep us, the celebrities, they're trying to keep us distracted from what the fuck they really got going on. So when the shit do hit the fan, we sitting there looking like, where did this, I didn't even see this coming, because you wasn't paying attention. You too busy watching this over here. You're too busy watching this over there. You're not paying attention to I actually saw something come up like that when it was something that happened with celebrities and it was a major distraction. And while everybody was zoomed in on what was going on with the celebrities, it's shit going on with the government that we're not even paying attention to because they have us distracted. There's so many reasons why certain things have been created, like televisions, phones, tablets, laptops, video games. It's to keep you distracted from what they really got going on.
Yeah, but
that's all.
As many times as we said that, as far as like keeping us distracted from like things that are actually going on, like how many times have people fell for that? You know what I'm saying? Like we're
gonna fall for it. We're gonna fall for it.
Like, then what are we complaining about? Like, are we just going to continuously keep falling for it, or are we going to actually do something?
Bro, that's what we're trying to say. Like, at this point, when you see this stuff happening, the way it's happening, what I'm trying to say is there's a reason why they are not hearing me, bro. There's a reason why they're distracting us. You can choose to do whatever you want. It's your life. Do you? I don't give a damn. If you want to walk around blind, you want to act like you don't see shit, that's on you. But when shit do hit the fan, don't be looking confused. Because when people are trying to give you the info, like, look, I'm trying to let you know what it is. You can choose to do whatever you want to do. You don't got to listen to me. You can go look it up yourself. That's what the internet technically really was for people to actually go and research shit that you can't find in the book, that you can't get from the teachers, because even the teachers are taught to teach a certain thing to your kids. My son over here is being taught about George Washington, not even knowing George Washington owned slaves and owned his ancestors and didn't do shit for black people. Like, real nigga shit, I'm tired of sugarcoating shit. Like, I'm about to start speaking real. I don't give a fuck how anybody feel about it. That go for y'all in the chat. That go for anybody on the show. My point I'm trying to say is you can either do something about it. You can either be aware and still have the knowledge of what's going on. You can still watch your entertainment. You can still do what you like to do for fun. But don't be blind and stupid walking around and these motherfuckers is doing shit behind your back. That's all I'm saying. And don't sit here and walk around and act like you don't know what the fuck is going on when they sitting here putting it in your face. Like the lady just said on the fucking rally. We want to support Donald Trump for keeping the victory for white life. They're not even trying to cover it up. They putting it right there in your face.
Yeah, bro, like how is that new? Like we've been knowing about this shit. Like a bunch of Donald Trump supporters are racist as fuck. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of like, all right, it's all right, yeah.
It's not what she said was racist.
That we have knowledge of it, but it's like in the end, what can we do about it?
She's not saying racist shit. What she was saying is that there's an agenda for them. It's deeper than just look. No, stop,
No, I'm saying that. What exactly are we going to do about it?
You're just looking at the generalities. You're not looking at the depth of it.
Okay.
You're talking about the basic shit is what they want you to talk about. Like this shit that me and you about to do, talking about this racist back and forth, that's what they want. They want you to think it's about just racism, but it's deeper than that. Eventually, it's not even going to be about race. Like I said, they're not going to care about Barrett just because he's white. If he's not in a certain class, they're not going to give a fuck about him neither. It's you got to see what's going on. Like when they took away women's rights, they didn't just take away black women, Asian women, Hispanic women. They took it all. So it's not even about none of that no more.
So
no, okay, thank you. All I'm saying is they're going to show you whatever. What are we going to do about it?
There's only so much that you can do, which is open your damn eyes and stop walking around like you don't see what the fuck is going on. And you need to spread the information.
What we can
and you need to spread the information if you can.
Hold on. What we can do is make sure.
I'm getting hot. I'm getting heated up in this bitch.
What we can do is make sure that these people are not in office. So,
y'all putting them in there. I didn't vote. I didn't vote last year.
And it's certain things like that.
No, I did not vote.
But
and you can laugh. You can laugh. You can say what you want to say. I did not vote because I'm not voting for motherfuckers that don't give a fuck about black people. Don't give a fuck about none of this shit that's going on. So you can kiki all you want, but no, I did not vote and I won't be voting because I don't support this country.
Well, Christina, so everything you just said is irrelevant.
They're able to do the things.
No, everything I didn't say is irrelevant. What I said was you need to be aware of what's going on. That's what I said. You can do whatever you want to do. That's your choice. Just like it's my choice if I don't want to vote. If I don't believe in that shit, I ain't got to believe in it. You can do what you want to do.
But Christina, the reason why these people are in office is because not enough people are voting.
Why would you even, if you think about it, that's not really even your call when you vote.
The reason why we vote is voting is hiring these people and putting them in office to do the things that they do. If you do not vote, then you don't keep them in.
I don't believe in that because I believe all politicians are crooked. I believe all of them are sexual molesters. And I don't believe in nothing that the government talks about. I don't believe in it anymore. And then you had, who did we have to choose? Biden and who else? Well, I don't even know who the other person was.
It makes it hard for you to make this argument when you're not doing your part.
I don't agree with it. All I'm saying,
in particular, I'm talking about.
Bro, I don't listen.
Please come on.
Right now that we're talking about.
No, you don't gotta come on because I'm saying what I want to say. When y'all get heated and say what you want to say, y'all don't get like that. I can get heated and say what I want to say. If I don't believe in something, I don't believe in it, and that's just that.
But
all I'm just saying is like you can't sit up here and like make all these complaints and then not even try.
Okay, I'm about to tell you something right now because I'm not complaining. I'm telling you what is going on. That's not me complaining. I live my life. I'm fine, but I'm aware of what's going on and I do not support the government. Now, if there are two representatives that are going to go up there and actually now when Obama ran, I voted. When certain governors run that I know are going to do something for real and what they're talking about, then I will vote. But if I don't think that they're for real about what they're talking about, I'm not voting. And that's just that. Y'all can say whatever y'all want. Y'all can crucify my ass. I don't give a fuck.
But I'm talking about in terms of situations like this. So we're talking about specifically Donald Trump being in office and that woman.
I didn't vote when he ran either.
Right. But listen to me for a second. Because you hot, right? Cool down for a hot second. Okay. In this particular situation, you have this woman, Representative Mary Miller, talking about thanks to Donald Trump, right? But then you were talking for Hillary Clinton, That was a situation right then where you could have exercised your vote. Because
I just went off of what she said. I just told you what she said. But I don't think none of them are honest people, period.
Right. But there are some people who may attempt to try and make sure that this shit.
But do you know that?
No, you don't.
Right. So you're still taking a risk.
Right. But exercise.
Why even do that? When you what did Hillary Clinton's husband do? What did Hillary Clinton's husband do?
We weren't able to vote.
I know that.
Okay, you know.
Do you know what Bill Clinton has done when he was in office? Do you know what any of those presidents that black people voted for, Reagan, Nixon, what's the other one? Woodrow Wilson, George Bush, all these presidents that black people voted for, did they do anything for y'all? I'm asking, did they?
Good question. Good question. King Sean,
like the Supreme Court,
what are we supposed to do?
in local people,
I'm not
certain people who are making decisions about the lives that you live.
And then what did I just say? What did I say though?
Life until the law tells you can't.
What did I say though? I said I will vote if I believe that somebody is going to be honest about what they're going to do for our country. If I personally do not believe that these politicians are telling the truth about what they're going to do for us when they get in office, I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to participate in the foolery. Just like that whole Donald Trump election, it was a whole fucking joke. We looked like idiots the whole time everybody's up there ranting and raving about Donald Trump. And other countries are calling us dumbasses because we're putting idiots that we know are wicked and evil and have no agenda for the people. Don't care about your kids. Don't care about your... If that was the case, if they really gave a fuck about us like that, why are people homeless on the streets like crazy in California? Why are there no inflations going up for pay wages and there's inflations going up for rent and mortgages and everything else and food? If they care about us so much and we going out here marching and protesting and standing in lines to put them in office, but they keep putting us in debt. There's a war. Joe Biden spent over $4 billion within 4 months to send over to the Ukraine. Meanwhile, you got people over here can barely eat, can barely pay their bills. There's hardly any, barely any jobs or anything going on for people because even if they are working, they can't make ends meet. And you mean to tell me that that voting actually has something to do with the changes in our country when nothing hasn't even really changed?
Yes, because if enough
I just disagree, yo. I disagree.
I
disagree.
Voted to keep Donald Trump out of office,
it wouldn't have mattered. He still would have got up in there.
Well,
do you guys, hold on, wait. I have a quick question. Do you really believe that your vote counts?
Yeah.
You really believe that?
I do. I choose to exercise my vote.
That's fine. I'm not criticizing any. It's funny that I'm not criticizing anybody that votes, but you guys are criticizing me because I don't.
Who have died for our rights.
I understand that. I've heard this story a million. I've heard this preached to me a million times, even my own mom. I've heard it.
I'm just saying. You asked me, right? I'm talking.
And I understand that.
Right,
I understand that. But what I'm saying is those people that died for us to be able to vote was because they thought that there were actual changes that were going to be made for us as a people. That's why through the decades and the decades and the decades of time, less and less black people have started to vote, and less people now in this day and age, not even just black people, are starting not to vote.
We can't give
because
up.
They see there's no changes.
The problem you can't just expect change straight off the bat. You can't expect that immediately.
We're just not going to.
You have to understand that
we're not going to see
voting from the beginning of time. I mean, from the beginning of civilization, right? So like they have been voting their people in for a long ass time. The only way
I'm
that
gonna just
we
be
are
quiet.
to overturn those boomers that we're trying to get out of there from making the decisions that they're making currently is if we continue to exercise our right to vote bit by bit, official by official, senator by a senator. You can't just expect for it to change overnight. You have to work.
That's y'all's
I
opinion.
agree
I
with
have mine.
Novocaine.
You have yours.
I agree with Novocaine. I think we all need to take a breath.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm very passionate about this. I'm not mad at anybody. I'm not any of that. It's just that I personally, from what I've seen, what I watched, documentaries, even all this stuff about people died so you can vote. We all know that. But that was a whole totally different time because Black people were trying to have rights. They didn't have any rights to anything. And it actually took the leaders to get us those rights, not our votes. That's all I'm saying.
So then it goes back to Michael's question. It goes back to Shadi's question. It's what do we do to change that?
Be in your own community, worry about your families, worry about what you got going on, and just pay attention because
that's what people are doing, and they are invading other people's homes and the way.
And this is what I'm trying to. This is what I'm trying to. This is what I'm trying to say. If you unless you're going to leave the country, unless you are going to leave the country, you can vote as much as you want to vote. That is fine. Praises to anybody who wants to vote at this time right now. That's great. If there's an official that comes along the next election that I wholeheartedly believe is going to make a change, then I will go out and vote. But the past two elections, I'm not saying I never voted. Let me correct that. I never said that I never voted. The last two elections, I did not vote because I did not believe the two people that were running against each other had anything to do with what goes on with my people and my community. That's all I see for me. And all I feel like is now all you can do, because the world is going to end the way the world is going to end. You cannot control that. You cannot. You're not God. You can't control what's going to happen. You can only be aware and prepared for what's going to happen. Now, if you want to vote next year and it's somebody up there that looks like they're going to make a change and some shit, then cool. All I'm saying is I did not vote the last two elections because I didn't see that those people that were running for presidential election were really going to be some honest people. I heard a lot of dark shit about Joe Biden. So I just did not want to vote. Just because in the forefront he looked like a decent guy, you have to do your research on these people, bro. So that's all I'm saying. That's my personal opinion. I'm not casting shame on nobody or anything like that. I'm just saying the last two elections, I did not feel like I should vote at that time. Now some changes.
Listen, I feel you. Listen, last election, I did not vote either. Okay.
So why am I getting screamed at?
Well, I'm screaming at you because you're the one that brought this shit up about something needs to happen, there needs to be changed. So I was asking you, well, what the hell should we do? But then you came out and said I didn't even vote. So it's kind of you really, how can you possibly have a say in this? And you're not even worried.
I never said I had a say in it. All I said was,
you're stating your opinion on this particular situation.
You're saying
I can have my opinion on whatever I want.
How can you even have an opinion? You didn't even vote.
Whoa. So now I can't have an opinion because I didn't vote?
Yeah, you're okay. You're making your opinion about Black people need to do this, and the government needs to do that, and they need to help us out with this and that. But you didn't even do your due diligence or your job.
I never said they need to help us out with anything
for your fucking people.
I never said they need to help us out. What I said was they don't do shit for our community. That's what I said.
And I'm you, what should we do?
And I already told you.
And
I already told you. I already told
Oh
you.
my God, man. Let's move on to the next fucking topic, man.
I just told you. Don't dismiss me. I just
I'm not
told you.
dismissing you, man. I'm just saying, like, you're not telling me anything.
Bro, I said, oh my fucking God, this is where you need to say women don't get heard. Because I just said,
Joe, come
this
on,
is
man.
where
Now you
I
want to make
just
this some
said,
gender shit? Are you
this
serious?
is where I just said, you can't control anything. I said, there's only so much that you can't. Okay, if I can't talk, then go ahead, go to the next topic. Because I'm trying to talk. You asked me a question. You asked me a question, and I'm trying to answer it.
Say your piece. You stopped. I didn't stop you. I was letting you say your piece.
So what I'm saying is, I never said, oh, we need to go out here and they need to do something for us. I clearly said they do not care about my people and my community, and they have never done anything barely for us, except for when the black leaders marched in and kicked down their doors. They didn't do anything for us because they wanted to. So that's what I was saying. And I was basically trying to say that people need to be more aware of what's going on. Educate yourself, research, because all you can do is be prepared. You cannot control unless you're going to leave the country. You cannot control what they plan to do. Even if you do vote, when you vote, it still has to get passed by the Senate and the Congress. And if they don't agree with whatever's going on, they're still going to make the decisions that they want to make. Otherwise, it wouldn't have took us this long to get the lynching law approved. They've been trying to pass that bill for over 25 years. So all I'm saying is you're saying that you vote. But it took all this time for certain things to even get approved. So that's why I said for the past 2 elections, I did not vote. I didn't say I never voted. That's not what I said. But all I'm saying, I'm not saying that, oh, we need to do this and we need to do that. You just need to be prepared, because there's at some point, there's only going to be so much that they're going to allow you to do. That's all I'm saying. I'm just trying to inform people of what's really going to probably eventually, maybe, possibly, hypothetically, let me throw all those terms in there because I don't know, could possibly happen. You mean to tell me a people that cares about their country took up to 2022 to approve a lynching law, and niggas is still getting hung from trees?
Yeah, but
and you want me to go vote?
But in order for that lynching law to be like taken away, guess what that came down to? Voting.
Not from us. We didn't vote on the bill.
That came down to black women.
No, calm down. What I'm saying is we didn't vote on that bill. That bill was not from our votes. That had everything to do with what's going on in Congress. And they had a lot of black officials like the NAACP and people like that speaking on how long they have been trying to pass that law. And then what made it look bad is that lynchings were popping up on social media and in the news for 2022. And by all means, they don't want to look like racists, and they don't want to look like they're this evil race of people that are allowing these things to happen. So of course they're going to make themselves look good and go ahead and let's just pass this law.
Well,
let's just go ahead and get it over with.
Well, see, then you can contradict yourself in that statement, because you say on one hand, when it comes to Mary Miller, like they could care less about showing their racism out front. You know what I mean? Like Fox News is a lot of racists talking back and forth a lot of the time. But when it comes to this particular case, you say that they don't want to be on the front street or seem like they're racist, specifically when it comes to lynching. You know what I mean? So like it's certain situations like this where we may not necessarily vote specifically on the presidency, but when we're talking about voting locally, like how Barrett was talking about.
That's fine. I'm not talking about that. I wasn't talking about that. That's going off topic. I was talking specifically about presidential elections.
Voting in general.
Oh, well, that's why I said if it's something worth voting for, or I wholeheartedly believe that the person is actually going to do something for us, then I will vote. Right. But the last 2 elections, I didn't.
There are people locally who do want to do something for you.
That's I know that.
So do you
I know
vote
that.
locally? Is what I'm saying.
If I believe that they're going to do something, then yeah.
Do you do your
You know what,
homework
Christina?
into
I have to
figuring
take back
out
some of the
whether or
stuff I
not they're
said.
going to
That
do
I
something?
apologize because I understand exactly where you're coming from with that.
That's all I'm saying. It's like, no.
I understand you better now, so I get it.
Thank you. I wasn't trying to say that I'm out here, I don't vote and all that. No, I'm just simply saying what I believe in. If I believe that somebody is going to come up and say, hey, I'm going to do this for you guys, right? I'm going to do that. I'm going to change this. I'm going to make it better for all people. And I'm actually going to do it, not just say I'm going to do it. Then I'll be like, hey, you know what? This person's out in the community. I see this person on the news doing this. I see them doing this. I see them actually making action and not just doing this. Then I will participate. But in the past 2 elections, I just felt like it's been some super shady shit going on. And I just wasn't for it. And the whole thing with Mary Miller, that was towards abortion. I felt like she said, thank you for the victory of preserving white life, is because she meant, I think that they know that the numbers are higher with their race of abortions. And that's why she said, thank you for the victory of preserving white life, because they now have overturned abortions. And now, wherever the states decide to vote, if you can, what your criteria is to get an abortion. I just seen today, today somebody sent me a clip of women fleeing from Texas, driving to New Mexico to get abortions. So it's like, there's a lot of, I'm on this shit all the time. So people send me stuff.
That's what you tend to do when your rights are being taken away from you.
I get it.
I'm not talking about specifically this right. I'm talking about rights in general. So there were people who were trying to get married and they were gay, right?
Or interracial.
Going to other states where it was legal to be able to do so, right? So I feel like we're regressing to a point where we're going to get right back to that. But yes, we should move on to the next topic.
Yeah, let's go to the next topic. So, okay. Something that was super trending and viral, and Michael is going to drop a bomb on us with this one. But you know the bomb you're going to...
Keep going.
Okay. So I don't know if you guys seen the viral video of the woman going off on the baby daddy about not giving food to her other children who are not biologically his. The woman felt the man was obligated to provide food for children that are not his while they mutually share one child with each other. I'm going to show you guys the clip. Is he responsible to feed those children as well? Who's right and who's wrong? And by the way, you guys, I love these guys, Ken and Michael. We get into these heated little discussions like this.
Lie. She fucking hates us. She hates us because we're black.
No, I don't. I love them like brothers. So don't think y'all don't go talk about us after this show, because I'm gonna know.
Because I have a penis.
I hate you. And your glasses look stupid.
Shut up. You like my glasses, hater.
And your glasses look like long shits.
Shut up. I fucking hate this nigga.
You get a middle finger for that, you asshole.
I fucking hate this nigga. If I was in Cali, I would come over there and beat your ass. Okay, so I'm gonna be in his ass, Charmaine. No, I'm just playing. I'm not gonna do that because then Charmaine gonna beat my ass. I'm not gonna beat his ass, Charmaine. I was just playing, girl. I ain't gonna do that. You ain't gonna have her coming for me.
Back to your ass, boy.
I know, Charmaine. Charmaine gonna be coming for me, and that ain't about to happen. I like Charmaine.
Christina, you stop talking and get your text.
Okay, I'm sorry. Because I've been fucking up all night. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, here we go. And then
press play 5 times and it ain't starting.
I know. I'm sorry, y'all. Dang, Kenyatta go put me on. All right, here we go.
And make my baby daddy come here with one meal for my child. But I have 3 other kids. We have 1 kid together, but he only want to come and bring one thing to McDonald's. But what about my other kids? How come you can't feed my other kids? McDonald's though. Like that's bogus as hell. Like you're not gonna sit here and make my other kids feel left out, and you're only bringing one child something to eat. Look, there you go. And I bet you we only got one thing.
This would be a good skit.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go, right here.
It ain't more than enough food in that bag for everybody.
And what's the light going on? Oh shit! It went back my backlight. I'm sorry, y'all. Come on, there it is. Press play. Come on.
Because I'm gonna expose you. Because that don't look enough for all my kids. That don't look enough for all my kids. What is that? That's just one burger? One burger, one fries? Okay, what about my other kid? And daddy, my baby daddy.
Okay, so that was just a clip, but she did go off on the guy. She ended up throwing the McDonald's food. They got into a big argument. I really didn't want to show you guys the whole argument. Hold on, my camera just went out. But they got into an argument over it, and he was just clearly saying the whole time, that, he brought food for his son and the other kids were not his. And then he proceeded to ask her to let the little boy come downstairs so he could maybe have some one-on-one time with him and he could eat his McDonald's so he wasn't eating it in front of his other siblings. The baby mother was not having it. She slapped the drink out of his hand. She threw the food in the street. She never let the child come down, and I'm assuming the child didn't get no McDonald's that day. So the question that was trending, and this video went crazy viral. Every podcast was talking about it. There was memes. The Breakfast Club, shout out to the Breakfast Club, they even tapped in on it. What do you guys think? Do you think who was right and who was wrong, or was there any right? Was there any wrong? What do you guys think? I just want to hear from everybody in the chat, and of course my two fellas right here. What do you guys think about that? We'll go with you, Ken.
That was a rhetorical question.
I feel like the baby father don't have no allegiance to all your kids. Right? If my son calls me at one particular time and says, hey, I'm here with these 3 other kids, my brothers and sisters, and I'm hungry, Daddy. I would be like, hey, your mama feed you? You know what I mean? Like, I can't just bring you something and the rest of your brothers and sisters ain't got nothing. Hell no, I'm about to bring my kids some food. You know what I mean? Like, right. I understand sort of where she's coming from when it comes to a certain situation of like the rest of her kids being left out. But the way that she went about it was all wrong. I think in particular. I agree. He doesn't necessarily have any allegiance to the rest of your kids. I did not sign up for you having my kid, and no, it's up to you to feed the rest of your kids. And where the other baby fathers at?
That's what he said in the video. He said that in the video at the end. Yeah, he said, where the other daddies at?
Have them bring some food. You know what I mean? Why? Okay, one of the big problems I have is the response video that she came out with, right? So she
there's a response video?
Don't speak on that. Don't speak on that. I can play it for you. Hold on.
Oh shit!
Let me play that for you. This is shout out.
She had been receiving a lot of flack from the public in general about how she reacted, how like the choices that she was making in that particular moment, and she responded.
Yeah, shout out to I'm about to show this clip. Shout out to Mediocre Tutorial and Reviews. He did on this response from the piece of shit deadbeat.
Look at her.
Look at her.
Look at her.
Hold up. All right, hold on. Let me make sure this is up.
Move it a little bit over so we can see her. There it is. That's wrong way, Michael.
But that's not good.
It's upside. It's like that way. Yeah, like that. Yep, like that. Because it was.
Let's just see.
Okay, I guess it looks different from my.
Yeah, let's just see her. Let's see it. Press play. What she said. Oh, she's Wow. Wasn't
bashing me right now because I'm the baby mama who was upset at her baby daddy because he only decided to give his child McDonald's and not the rest of my other 3 kids. I have 4 kids. You knew the situation when you dated me.
She said that. She said that.
Who's fault?
Before y'all make me the villain. That means all my other kids knew him. He was buying the McDonald's for together. My kids have to go through a transition.
Maybe he didn't have it that day.
Yeah, me and you broke up, but my kids got to feel it too. So now,
So she got this wig on,
eyelashes,
these lashes, her nails done, and her face beat.
And her face beat, honey.
And her face is beat, but you can't feed the rest of your kids?
What I didn't like is when she said he knew what he got himself into. And to me it sounded like a setup. I didn't like when she said that.
The thing that I have a huge problem with is these baby mothers taking all of their frustrations out on the baby fathers because they're upset with their current situation and what they have going on. I find that to be absolutely despicable, just because it's not his fault that you chose to lay your ass down and have 3, 4 baby fathers. Like, I don't know how many baby fathers. It could be 2.
Right, it could be.
Why are you making your child suffer because of the animosity that you have towards the baby's father? That father was caring for his child.
Right. He did. He was doing his part. He
only got one, as far as I know, in her household. You know what I mean? Like, he only got one, and he only needs to take care of one. I may be working a dead-end job, and I have so much money, but I'm going to make sure that my child is okay.
And maybe he didn't have it that day.
Your kids.
Right, and maybe he didn't have it that day. Go ahead, Michael.
Well, wait.
I ain't going to have it no day. That's my kid. Fuck you and the rest of your kids. I don't give a fuck about your kids. I ain't got no allegiance to your kids.
Not fuck you and the rest of
my kid. Mine. I didn't lay down to have 4.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Ken.
That's petty. That's petty. Like, it's not.
I'm sorry, over. Hold on.
You used to do it for them. You don't want to do that for them anymore. Like, to me, that's petty.
See, her feelings.
Yeah.
And not all the other kids McDonald's. Like, I'm not going. And then on top of that, you used to tell me you can give a dad and want to do it sometimes, but yet you can't feed all my other kids McDonald's though.
But you doing it with him. But you doing it. What do you mean? Did she say he want to do it with her?
What?
No.
What did he? Oh, I thought she said he be coming around trying to still hit or something like that. I'm like, well, that's on you. That don't have nothing to do.
It's
that has nothing to do with it.
That she might have said that and blah blah whatever. I think that's where it's stemming from, where the animosity is stemming from, because he gotta still be hitting that. Even if he not, you know what I mean?
Right.
The animosity coming from that is that their situation is over. It's in past tense. It's relationship, right? So leave that shit in the past and worry about your kids.
Right.
Novocaine said it best. You let four different men come in.
Run up in you.
Year. Come in you year after year. This sounds like a you problem.
It is. And so, okay, so I just want to stir the pot a little because that's what I do. Do you guys think that the guy should have maybe been a little bit more aware about who he was dealing with?
No.
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
say yeah.
well, you mean talking about laying down and having children with?
Like when he already seen that she's got 3 other kids, the fathers aren't really coming around, because she said in that video that he just showed us that he was buying McDonald's for them before. So
That is fine.
I'm
But
gonna say this.
but
I'm gonna
whatever
say
he
this.
did in that particular video bear no weight on none of that. He was simply trying to care for his child, and that's it.
oh,
Very,
okay, fair.
very true. But I'm gonna say this.
Go ahead.
And anyone in the chat, please correct me if I'm wrong. But she did say that she had 3 other children from 3 other different men.
Okay.
She said 3?
She said 3 other different men.
Again, correct me in the chat if I'm wrong.
Okay.
But if that's not a red flag, what the fuck else is?
That's what I'm saying, Michael. This is where me and Michael agree. Now we here now.
I mean,
That 3 babies by 3 different men. How is that not a red flag? How is that not like a warning signal? Like, yo, brother, you're bearing this. Move on.
It's like somebody being like, "Hello, don't do it. Don't do it."
I'm like, yo, this is a deadbeat mom. But at the same time, yo, this dude is stupid. He's fucking
I
dumb.
have to agree with Michael on this one, because like she said in the clip, he was buying my kids food before. So clearly he was aware, once again, that word, that the other fathers are either in and out, or they're not around, or she's got she's got whatever, 3, if that's correct, 3 different baby daddies or 2 different baby daddies, whatever. That already should have been a flag for him. He should have been strapping it up or whatever. And clearly he shot the club up because he got her pregnant.
Gonna have to do that now.
I mean, regrets are regrets, right? But
right?
I can still,
Oh yeah.
I can
You're
still
right,
be able
Ken.
to say, like, okay,
A long
I
ass
fucked
regret.
up. I don't want to deal with her no more, right? But now we have a child,
Right.
and I'm trying to care for this child. I don't give a fuck about this.
The petty shit.
The petty shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, here I am. My son may be hungry, and here I am trying to feed my son.
And you're denying me of that.
Because you got 4 kids. Maybe I'm trying to ease it up on you so you ain't gotta worry about the one. Now you gotta figure out how to feed 3.
I did you a favor today.
Right? So,
you're right, Ken. I didn't look at it like that too. That's a good perspective. Yeah. She should have said. She should have been like, "Come on, go with your daddy. Go."
Yeah, you should have been like, if I have 4 kids and 4 of them need 4 meals, but one baby daddy brings one child 1 meal, that means I got 3 meals left.
Right.
Yeah.
And it don't take much to feed kids. Even in the video, if anybody saw the long video, she was like, my food stamps don't come to the 11th. I'm thinking to myself, so you're not going to feed the kids to the 11th of the month?
You know what? I was thinking when I heard that shit. I was thinking when I heard that, it's your kids, someone called child services, and they need to take away your kids because you are solely relying on the government to feed your kids.
Feed your kids. Mm-hmm.
You don't need nor do you deserve to have children.
This is where
you literally just said that, like, you know that I don't get my food stamps until the 7th, meaning that, like, you solely rely on the government as a mother. Children, but you are solely relying on the government to feed your children.
And see, this is where that
she don't care about food.
But yet,
she care about this. She care about this and this.
Yeah, she don't care about the sanctity of food because she throwing it in the street.
Yeah,
it don't mean nothing to her.
And yet we have a black father, like, and there's a lot of them out there, but, like, they get looked over. But we have a black father who's recorded who's doing his job, his duty,
Mm-hmm.
as a father to provide for his son, not multiple other motherfucking sons, but his son, or I don't know, son, daughter. I don't know what the child.
It was his son. It was his son.
You know what I'm saying? He's doing his job as a father to provide for his child. And this woman talking about like, I don't get my food stamps to the step.
I think Michael, I think it was longer than that. She said the 11th.
Ah, shit.
And when she said that, I was like,
what it really sounded like to me was like, if they all don't eat, ain't none of them eating. Get this shit out of here.
That's exactly what she was saying.
What you said earlier, her response video, what was done? Her hair was done, her makeup was done, her eyelashes, those nails.
Titties was out.
TikTok their shit. But she can't afford food for her fucking kid. What is that?
And that's why. And that's why she can't.
She can't afford it. That's child support paying for those lashes.
Yeah.
That wig, that makeup, those nails. That's child support. She has 4 kids. That's 4 different checks, and they all get her around.
Mm-hmm. She rather look good than feed her kids good. That's a damn shame.
That's crazy.
See, now this is where the whole Roe versus Wade thing is, where I kind of be like, damn, it's women like that make you like, damn, I would have started for them kids.
She was never thinking about an abortion. She was thinking about the cash payola that it was going to be when she had those kids.
I was just going to say that to y'all. Do y'all believe that I've actually heard this before, but I don't know if you guys believe that this is something that people do, and people in the chat, y'all can chime in and say yes or no. Do y'all think a lot of women actually like it's almost like a plot for them to have multiple babies so they can stay on the system?
Yes.
Why are you making it sound like this is new shit?
If you can
That's sick, though. That's sick, bro.
If you can think of it, it's possible. If you think of it, it's possible, right? So, like, if you can,
it's hard to think that somebody would sit there and say, I'm gonna have all these kids, so I don't even gotta work. I can just be on the system. That's some trifling shit.
She has 4 kids. To her, looking at that video, to me, that seemed like 4 different incomes.
Wow. Honestly, I'm surprised that you even said that, Christina. Like, this is nothing new. This shit's been going on since the beginning of time, since like they made order that guys have to provide for the children no matter what, when it comes to divorce and shit like this. Like seriously?
Honestly, I've heard it, but I literally was like, nah, who would fucking that's just crazy. Like chicks, I'm talking about chicks having 7 kids, a lot of fucking kids, more than 4.
Yeah.
It's a paycheck. There's women out there, hey, surprise, surprise, there's women out there who's just as fucked up as men. Oh.
But why would you, I think that's a mental illness, because why would you want to struggle? I just don't understand that. I don't understand that.
Because they're not struggling. The kids are.
They're using those kids as
the kids are. The kids are the ones struggling. The kids are the ones that's being a disservice.
Not in their minds. Not in their minds. Not in the mom's mind.
In the mom's mind, it's not. But what Kenyatta is saying, he's right. The kids are the ones that ultimately are affected by it, basically.
Yeah, because the child support isn't going to the kids; it's going to the mother.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like these mothers don't think about that shit. You think this bitch in this video really give a fuck about this kid having McDonald's? Or oh my God,
no.
Humans are gonna look at him eating that that McDonald's fries, that dollar meal, that cheeseburger, and they're gonna be so distraught. And by the time they're 13, oh my God, I remember my brother was and like he was eating a dollar meal in front of me, and like I cried myself to sleep. You really think that he cares about that? No, it's a show. It is a show.
She was trying to get off scot-free in that particular situation, which means that if her one child is getting food, then all of her children getting food, right? So like it was more so a situation about like, don't come up in here for just one child when I have 4.
Right. That's
because
so.
I don't want to feed any of them, right?
That's
but
so.
if you're gonna bring food up in here, then you need to bring food for all of them. Right?
This
Now,
just makes me
we only saw just a minute or 2 of the video, right? But that is the situation that she places. You have to think about why she also was filming this man, right?
Right.
So we just watched this whole situation of Amber versus Johnny and how she was trying to make him out to be the problem,
the villain,
by filming him,
and her ass got caught on a recording,
when
dumbass.
she was the problem, right?
Yeah.
So like in this particular situation, you have to think about the pettiness that she is operating off of by filming her baby daddy pulling up. Now she know he bringing food. Right. Why you didn't say no shit on the phone if it's such a problem?
Right.
He said probably over the phone and said some shit like, "Hey, I'm about to bring little Ron some a Happy Meal or something like that," right? He let the nigga pull up and then chastise him at the door, right?
Yeah.
Why else would she have the camera and the phone ready, right? So it was all the situation of trying to make everybody in the general public see how much of a problem he is, right?
But really, it backlashed on her.
If she turns the camera around, it's her.
It's her. Damn, this is where when I was talking to you earlier this week, and then we will move on. Ken, when you were telling me how you think that the abortion thing it's deeper than just people like other than their rights being taken away, children that are going to come into are going to have no choice but to come into a bad situation or being neglected or something like what this lady. Probably.
No child should be born into poverty if we can help it.
Right.
No child should be born into a situation where someone is already having trouble taking care of their own lives. Right?
Yeah, I agree with you.
So like then we place them in a situation where they haven't even fully raising themselves, and now we're telling them to raise someone else when they don't have all of the lessons and answer for themselves. Now they have to figure it out while this life is being held in balance.
Right.
Not everybody should be raising children.
You're right.
Not to say that everyone isn't capable.
Right. That's deep.
But we're all in different phases of our lives, right? At this particular time in my life, I know I wouldn't want to have to raise no child, right? I know that if ever I came upon that particular situation, then I would have to snap too. But not everybody thinks like that. You know what I mean? Not everybody is ready or prepared, or it should be in situations of preparation. Like we are ready to take care and nurture this life. You know what I mean? When people are not ready for it.
Right. That's when problematic.
It has long-lasting effects on the child as they grow older, and when they become an adult, there's a possibility that might have residual effects. You know what I mean?
I agree with you. I do definitely agree. I definitely agree. And go ahead, Michael.
You can't make those excuses no more. Your body, your choice. So
shut up, Michael.
you know what? This is not even really a joke. It's like I'm not talking
No,
about
he's
rape.
not. I know. He's being serious though.
Like, no, women say all the time, your body, your choice. So it is your choice. I'm
Now
not
it
talking
is.
about like try to use that as a scapegoat. I'm talking
Now
about
it
women
is.
who choose to lay down with certain type of individuals, knowing or not knowing that this person might be good for your future or bad for your future.
Right. Right.
Children, shit, you're probably not even thinking about children. Point
You're
is,
right.
No.
it's your choice to spread and open your legs for this person. So
You're right. You're right. He's absolutely right. I mean, I am a mother, a single mom in this generation, and I'll be honest with you. If I knew what I knew now,
man, if
man,
that's to it now,
huh? You went out.
if it didn't have a meaning to it, it sure as fuck has now.
Wait, you went out. Say it again.
Your body, your choice. If that meaning didn't have an effect on you back then, it sure as fuck does now.
Well, I was one of these people that
You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to make smart decisions. Put on a fucking condom. Protect yourself.
And I was one of those people that I still don't believe in abortions because I knew subconsciously that I made the decision to lay down with somebody that I wasn't clearly I'm not going to go into that whole story, but I made down a decision. I laid down and made the decision knowing what I was doing. And I felt I couldn't live with myself if I had an abortion. First of all, when I found out I was already 3 months, both times, I felt like if I did that and I knew what I was doing, I just couldn't live with my own self. This is just my personal opinion. So I did not choose to have an abortion. But I also kicked in gear that I knew I was going to have a major responsibility ahead of me. But if I really knew what I knew before even the kids were conceived, just be careful. Like he said, use protection or don't have sex, practice abstinence, celibacy or whatever, meditate, read a book or whatever. You know what I mean? Because now, like you guys are saying, it is going to be your body, your choice, and you ain't going to have the choice to just say, hey, I laid down, made a mistake with this person, now I want to get rid of the baby now. Or, you might not be able to have that option because there are some states that are still allowing it, but you might not be able to have that option. Who knows how deep this thing might go.
And don't be mad at the world because you chose to lay down and have these 4 kids by 4 different baby daddies.
Exactly. Exactly.
I have to bring up one other thing.
Okay.
So the possibility that this whole McDonald's baby mama fiasco, it could be all fake. It could be all phony. Because this lady actually has an account with over 1,214 posts, over 5,000 followers, and she's listed as a content creator, baby mama versus girlfriend.
Shit.
YouTuber, content creator, actress.
Damn! And she an actress?
McGalston. I can't pronounce this shit.
If she an actress, no wonder she can't pay for her kids to have no food.
I'm spelling her name Eliz. Last name McGlaston.
McGlaster or something?
McGlaston. Yeah, email. She has a YouTube account. Like you can you can see her content up on her YouTube and her her Facebook account is Eliz_McGlaston. McGlaston.
We do not care to look up that deadbeat mama.
No, I'm saying for people who do care, because this is an example of black women putting a black face on other black women, giving men.
Good point, Michael.
to go through all the time, because it happens to men all the time when there's a bunch of dudes that like do a bunch of dumb bullshit that give women who especially try to start like a gender war ammunition to like use it as a weapon to demonize men, especially black men.
To start shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, this being the exact same fucking thing.
That's the tea for y'all ass. Ain't nobody else podcast bring y'all that shit now, did they?
And well, this is by a podcast new to.
Never mind.
No, fuck it. I gotta give this man props. Shout out to Mr. Skinny TV. I'm looking at, now, granted, like I will say, my girl Charmaine, love you, baby. She's the MVP.
Hey, Star.
She's the one that gave me the update of this shit. It's just that I'm not able to upload the picture because, like, you know, my phone, it's in Detroit.
It's all right. It's all right.
The point is that this shit.
You might be right, Mike, because I don't see no pictures
all
of kids.
it could be all fabricated.
No pictures of no kids? Shut the front door.
I don't see no kids.
During the entire recording, she did not once show turn to her kid.
And you know what? That's why that shit went so fucking viral. Because I was like, why is the Breakfast Club talking about this?
Oh, here they are.
Oh, you see them? So she might have had kids, but it still might have been. But it still might have been a put on, a put on to make black men look bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't understand why our position. I don't understand why.
Or did the reverse and made all black women look bad.
It did. What her intentions was to make him look bad, but it backlashed.
Yeah.
Or this is a setup from jump.
Yeah, so it's like you got to be mindful of this shit because like half the shit that comes out on social media is fake as fuck. It's not real life. You know what I'm saying?
So wild, bro. Like that was a whole skit.
Pay attention to this shit. So all
good shit, Michael.
Just saying. No,
good shit.
She's the one. She's the MVP. She's the one that like.
Hey, good job, Shar.
I can't take credit for this, so you know.
That's good, but no, you know what? That's a huge eye opener because it would make sense why there was freaking memes. That it was, I mean, trending all over the place. I was like, yo, this lady went this viral over this shit. Like, really? But now it makes sense if she has like a platform.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, there's the tea on that one, you guys. So our show is probably going to go over because we had the tech issues earlier. So there's only 2 more topics, and I'm going to try to shorten these up. I did. Huh?
Yeah, 15 minutes before midnight. So yeah.
I know. Let me try to shorten this up. I did want to talk about. Let me just talk about this really quick. D-Ray Davis was on Vlad TV, and he was exposing sexual molestation as a young boy at 11 years old. He experienced an early age oral sex with a 30-year-old woman. And what I wanted to really talk about briefly, because I know we're way over, Let's
gloss over that really quickly. He didn't experience it. It was forced upon him.
Okay, excuse me. Mm-hmm. It was an experience, and it was a forced experience.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
He was molested.
And mind you, 11:30. Yeah. Okay. And this is what I want to say. Why is it a passive discussion about boys being sexually exploited? Remind you guys of the Boosie shit. Boys being sexually exploited at a young age, and how this can affect young boys as they grow to men and their relationships, as well as their perspective with sex. Let me see. If you guys want to go ahead and place and talk about it, I'm gonna look up this video clip really quick because I did save it.
No, yeah, but I was just gonna say, like, I think me personally, I think it's just one of those double standards when it comes to men and women, as far as like men being raped or sexually molested. Like, you know, it's a thing where like if you're 10 or 11-year-old or 11 years of age and like you have sex with your babysitter, or if your babysitter hits a hand job or like suck your dick when you're like 11. Granted, like
Right.
weird
Ugh.
that like a grown ass woman would do that to a fucking kid, but like
Right.
that's not looked down upon like in society. It's like, oh shit,
Right.
that's
You
crazy.
the
It's like that's
right.
a kid.
Right. Right.
Why are we like praising this shit?
Yes.
That is not
And why?
like
And
he
why
was.
is it? Right. Exactly.
So I don't know. It's
And
just it's the mini. It's not an opinion. It's just fact. It's one of the many double standards when it comes to like little boys, little girls, men and
why do
women.
you think that is? Before I show this clip, why do you think that is though? Why do you think for boys? Like I remember when in my neighborhood some of the boys did lose their virginities at a young age, like 13, 12, 14, and it was like commended, like, oh yeah, you did man, you did. I just don't understand why it's not discussed as like a problem. You know what I mean? I don't think that.
I guess sometimes it depends on I guess sometimes it depends on how it's brought up just as well. I think sometimes young men like to boast about it.
Right.
Sometimes, right?
Right.
So like when it comes to a particular situation of like having a sexual experience with an older woman, they tend to use that as a trophy, if you will, right? And so then his boys is bigging him up. But in this particular instance, he was specifically laying it out that he was molested, right? So like, and a lot of young boys, if they were to speak that out and say that they were molested, I think sometimes they initially feel shame about it, right?
That's why they don't come out with it.
And so they may turn it into it being a positive because they don't want to be made fun of.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay.
So then they may say like, oh, you know, I fucked this 30-year-old, you know what I mean? Like blah, blah, whatever when I was younger. Because it's a lot of the time when it comes to young men, you're trying to establish a mode of respect amongst your peers a lot of the time, right?
Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
It happens through sports, but specifically in terms of like locker room talk, right? So you're saying these things because you want these guys to be on your side, you know what I mean? Especially when the terms of the topic of sex is being talked about, right? So then you can say certain things like, oh, when they are specifically talking about how I wish I could bag this girl or I wish I could bag that girl, then instead of taking that particular situation that was very traumatic to you and making it even more traumatizing, there's a possibility that they may use it and spin it in order for it to be, not saying all, because all situations don't necessarily happen that way. I'm just thinking in terms of a little boy growing up and trying to gain respect amongst his peers. You know what I mean? But in this particular respect, I felt like when you watch the video, you'll see, and then we'll comment on it a little bit.
Yeah, here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and press play. Sorry about the lighting. Let me get this straight. Oops. Come on. Oop.
It made my Kool-Aid taste different.
Hold on.
And we laugh about this. I know because I'm a boy. I know it's different, and we should know.
Oh, the filter. Sorry, y'all. Let me take this filter off.
What happens, but I've had older women who thought I wasn't being parented correctly, slightly try to take advantage of me, and not slightly have taken advantage. But you lost your virginity to two 30-year-olds? Yeah. The same time? Yeah, two ugly, horrible looking women. And you were, what was I? You were how old? 11. 11. Going to 12. I had no hair on me. Right.
Oh my God.
I remember not having, and it was disgusting. And to this day, it's difficult for women to get me to go down. It's difficult. The girls that have had it, you're welcome. But it's hard. It's hard for me. It's hard for me to go down, man, because I'm like, I remember what it was like down there. It was like, it was like a scary jungle.
But you see how they're making light of it and laughing.
Generally speaking, they like chicken. I was just happy to be up. And it made my Kool-Aid taste different.
I mean, we laugh about this.
I know, but because I'm a boy, I know it's different, and we should know. We need to just pay more attention to what happens. But
See,
women.
All right, so that was the clip for that. But do you see how they were laughing?
It's not only that they were laughing, but he's a comedian, and I think
Right.
he was using comedy as a defense
He
mechanism.
was for sure.
To be able to deal with, because
the trauma.
He's still traumatized, right?
Mhm.
But in order for him to be able to talk about it, he has to make jokes about it. You know what I mean? In order for him, because if he were to speak straight out and serious about it, and then they were to have like somewhat of a serious tone, I feel like he might have not been able to handle that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he took it upon himself to, if they're gonna start laughing, and I think I feel like he said this before.
Right.
Not necessarily them, but to someone.
Maybe in comedy.
Right.
Maybe in comedy.
Maybe I've never seen any of his specials in him.
He's funny.
Well, no, I'm talking about. I've never seen any of his specials and him speak about this. I've seen him.
Yeah.
And I know that. And sometimes what they tend to do is they tend to take these situations that are outlandish and they turn it into comedy. And so this particular situation was really traumatizing to him, and I feel like he was trying to. I think he may have already spoken to someone and they started laughing, and so he knew off the bat what jokes were gonna hit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like to be able to soften the blow of some really, really serious stuff, what he was saying. The problem that I also have is what you were saying was that they chose to laugh.
Right. I was like, that's not funny.
And for them to have like the wherewithal, and it's a hip hop publication, right? So
right. It's Vlad TV, courtesy of Vlad TV.
They're probably not going to stop and be like, hey man, like hold on for a second. That was really hurt.
You was molested, bruh.
I think that's the publication. Now, if he was with Gayle King
or Oprah,
then they would probably get down to the nitty gritty of that, or hit it with a little bit of a softer blow. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think in order for them not to bring the whole energy of everything down, I think that they chose to make light of it. But I could see through it, you know.
Right.
I mean?
You could tell he kind of, there was a little bit of some emotion in there when he was talking about it. And I agree with him. I think sometimes.
I think he's also embarrassed in a way to have to say it, you know.
Right. I mean? Like, it would be.
Yeah. So like, I think like how Mike was saying, like there is this double standard when it comes to like how men are perceived and how like, if they're in a compromising position sexually or taken advantage of sexually, people don't necessarily take that seriously because they're men, right?
Right. So, that's the answer. They're boys.
Right. They're boys. Like they want sex, you know?
Right.
That's what people think, or
that's
what's being forced upon.
That's probably what those women thought too.
That, you know? So
yeah, Ken, that's probably what those women thought. Those two, he said 2 of them, 2 30-year-old women.
You don't think that about an 11-year-old?
But I'm saying, do you think that they thought he's a boy?
He wanted the sex?
Right, no. Right. You don't think so? So why would they try to get him to, I'm just trying to figure this out. Like why?
He already said themselves, they ugly, they 30, and they try to get it where they can, and they may not necessarily be able to get it from a regular man, so then they take advantage of this young boy who can't refuse them. You know what I mean? Or is helpless to protect himself. You know what I mean? Like, so why wouldn't
damn,
they
that's
choose to
deep.
do it together? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, on an
That's
11
deep.
year old, like, there's no way in my mind that you know that you're thinking that this is okay. You know
Right.
what I mean? Not at
Dang.
30.
And those women, and that's the type of shit that makes me scared for like certain for kids and stuff. Because it's like women could get a pass for doing that to an 11-year-old boy. They should be in jail.
Oh yeah.
You know, something they should they do. They get a pass all the time. That's just a part of the double standard. You know, it's
Damn,
like
that's shitty. I'm sorry for y'all.
I'm just saying, like, look at it this way. Imagine if this was a female saying this, that she got talked into doing sexual
Mm-hmm.
things with 30-year-old men.
Everybody like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened to you. Oh my God, that's so sick. Oh my God, are they in jail? Oh my God.
She wouldn't be able to make a joke about it.
No, she wouldn't. It would immediately be an emotional conversation.
Again, that's just a part of, you know, it's one of the, you know, not talking about physically, just why men or women are just different, you know. Even when it
Right.
comes to like this, it's like we're just, you know.
Well, I just wanted to note. I did want to notate before we move on to the last topic. I watched this documentary on Hulu. I think it's called Without No Trace, but it was about the Boy Scouts, and it was a huge eye opener for me. They said 82,000 boys that were part of the Boy Scout franchise or club. 82,000 of those men were sexually molested.
They have been. They continue to be.
82,000.
I think a lot of the time, like black young boys get glossed over sometimes.
There were a couple of black men on that show that were older now, and they were still having issues with, and of course they were touched by other men,
Yes.
which is like
Tyler Perry admitted it just as well, that when he was younger, he was molested
by
when he
a
was
family member, right?
by a family member. Yes, it's situations. It's been happening. You know what I mean? Like in Catholicism, we talk about
Yes.
we talk about the altar
The
boys.
boy,
You know
altar
what I mean?
boys. There you go. Yeah,
Like,
that's very true. There's been so many stories that came out about that.
there's situations that happen like that, but they handle the situation sensitively when it's the altar boys.
Right.
You know what
What
I
do
mean?
you?
Like,
What do you?
everyone's up in arms about that particular situation just because how dare the priests, right?
Right. Right.
But when you're talking about, yeah, I got you, Mike. But when you're talking about like uncles and aunts and people who are closest to you who live within the same home, it's certain situations like that where you find
Just one last thing.
outrageous.
What do you guys think could be done to prevent, because it's almost seeming like boys are just as molested as girls. It's just not talked about.
Having an open dialogue with your children, right?
Amen.
So
Yeah.
making it easier for them to be able to
Come to you.
about any and everything. Because
Right.
if they think
Right.
at any moment that you are that they can't speak honestly with you, or that when they tell you the truth and then you give them consequences because of it, or you make them feel bad after they told you the truth, they
won't tell you anymore.
They won't open up. If they can't open up to their own mom, they won't open up to
Open up to anybody, right? Ooh.
You know what I mean? Or their father. They won't open up to anyone. Or if they do, no one
It'll
is
be the
going
wrong
to care
person.
for them as much as their parents should.
Right.
You
That's
know what I
100.
mean?
That's 100.
Yeah.
That's 100.
Just going off of what Ken said, like he's absolutely right as far as like, because I honestly do believe that like a lot of parents don't think that can happen to boys. You know, like you feel like you kind of see through society, social media, movies that like it's more like more pay attention. It's more pay attention to like females having the possibility of getting molested and raped, you know, by other older men or just men in general, but not the same thing happening to young boys or boys in general. So like
Pay attention to
conversation,
your kids.
like
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
So conversations about sexual abuse, molestation, whatever, whatnot. It doesn't happen between a father and son or a mother and a son because like I think it just the possibility of that escapes it escapes from the like ever even happening. But like I feel like we're making progress as society as far as like being more aware of that. It's kind of like no, that shit's real and it does happen.
Right.
It happens more often, especially now, as
Dude.
far as rate towards like little girls. So like it probably has been more often towards like little boys. So like
Right.
conversation, it needs to be more broad and it needs to be more represented because like the shit does happen, but like yeah, it's definitely swept under the rug.
And I
Yeah.
have two sons, and I definitely want them to be able to feel very comfortable to come tell me whatever. If somebody touches, I even tell that to them now. I tell that to them now. I'm like, if anybody, even at school,
And it's not
sometimes other
only
kids,
it's not
do it
it's
because
not
it's
only
happening to them at
that
home.
it's not only that you have to wait for them to come to you, but you
Can
need to know
ask.
your kid well
Okay.
enough to pay attention
Yeah.
to their behavior,
Behaviors.
because
Okay.
their
Yeah,
behavior will change, right?
yeah, right,
When
right.
they go through certain situations like that that's traumatizing, it starts to act out in other areas or in different ways. They start to um,
Ooh.
exhibit anger in other ways, or you never know. But you want to try and get to the nitty gritty of trying to figure out what's going on with your child, and that's knowing your child.
Right. You're right. You're absolutely right. Go ahead.
Yeah, so like Bear just well he didn't just wrote this we wrote this a while ago, like two or three men I've been with that were raped were done by family members. So
Damn.
sometimes like pay attention to like, certain family members.
Your
Because
surroundings.
Damn.
it happens.
Damn.
I have family members who have been raped by other family members.
Oh my God,
And
dude.
it has an extremely lasting effect on that person as they get older, and especially if no one believes them, because then certain situations of abandonment starts to set in, and then you start letting anyone out there start treating you any type of way
Right.
because you weren't treated right in your own home. You know what I
Right.
mean?
So you
So
don't
like
even know the
it
difference.
stems from so many different things, and in order for you to be able to rectify that and start the process of healing, you have to believe your kid and take what they're saying to be serious.
Right. That was really good. Very well put, fellas. I really wanted to open that up because stuff like this has been coming in and out off and on with boys being molested and all this stuff that's going on with kids and trafficking. So I did want to highlight that. And then I saw, and Kenyatta did send me that clip with D. Ray Davis, who is a well-known comedian. I would have, didn't know that he had experienced something like that. And I just thought it was something that should be, even though it's not, we didn't maximizely talk about it, but I do think it's something that should be, and people should be informed of, when it comes to your sons, if there's something you're seeing a little off.
So to chime in really quickly before you cut out on that, so we just talked about not too long ago how D-Ray has 2 girlfriends, right?
Right.
At the same time, right?
Right.
But he was molested by 2 30-year-old women at the same time.
So
you think about the lasting effects that it has on you in the adult life. Now he's in trouble with committing.
Right.
Because of the situation, like how he was talking about, like, if I ever let you go down on me, like, you're welcome, because that's a hard thing for me,
right?
So
that
like
was
that
deep.
trauma carries on into other different ways, and if you don't bridge the gap with that, then it's gonna affect you further on down in life. So I didn't
That
mean
was
to cut you off, but
no, that was very well put, you guys. I've been wanting to talk about that, but we never find the time. So that was very well put. If you guys do want to check out the documentary on Hulu, it's called I think it's Without No Trace. It's a documentary about young men that were molested and a part of the Boy Scouts. So moving on to our last topic of the night. I'm going to go ahead.
On just off topic, Barrett put up a quick question. If you're blackout drunk and you wake up to someone having sex with you, is that rape? Even if you're a woman? Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
It's without consent.
Yeah, but yes, for some of y'all up in there that be trying to sneak it in, no, that can be considered rape. Because if she wake up and she's like, oh my God, you're raping me. And you like, well, I thought you just wanted it because you laying there and you laying next to me and you passed out. No, nigga, don't try nothing. Don't try nothing if somebody is passed out.
Now, I mean, relationship-wise, I wonder if there's a little bit more lax in that. Like if I'm in a relationship with you or if I'm in a marriage with you.
Hey, according to women, that's still rape. And according to me, too, I still feel that's rape, bro. Like,
yeah, if I'm drunk and I'm passed out and somebody tries to have sex with me, I'm gonna be like, bro, what the hell?
It's happened. It's happened to me.
It's like a relationship with
someone.
It
happened to you?
Fuck, do I need to... Yeah. Why the fuck do I need to get them like passed out drunk to fuck them? It's kind of like, why don't we just wait until the next morning or the next day? It's like, hey, I was trying to fuck you, but like you were passed out, so I just end up like so. Like, wait.
I think you should wait. You should wait.
My first night in California, someone tried.
Oh my God.
Someone got me really, really drunk and tried to force themselves on me, but I had the wherewithal to be able to be like, and it was my very first time ever being drunk. Went out.
Oh shit.
This was like after orientation for AMDA. Right?
Oh my God.
And ended up going to West Hollywood, went to the Abbey, right?
Oh.
With a couple of friends, and they got me really, really drunk, right? And the person who I thought was my friend,
right,
attempted to force themselves upon me, right?
Oh my God, Ken, I'm sorry that happened to you.
Hey, I was, this shit didn't happen because
don't get it fucked up.
Yeah, no, it did not happen just because I had the wherewithal. But there are people out there who don't always have the wherewithal or who don't always have the sense to be able to, or have the strength to.
Right, I was just about to say that.
Else, you know what I mean? Like, and so thankfully, in that particular situation, I did. And,
thank God.
Yeah, and no, I got.
Don't ever go out drinking with people. Like people are weird, dude. Like I don't know. I think people are you just never can trust anybody sometimes, especially when they get a little alcohol in. But I'm glad nothing happened to you.
Yeah, that's the choices that you make. I was 20. I wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah, I know.
Happy.
I know. I made a lot of crazy choices at 22. So, but go ahead.
Eric just put up. She was 14 years older. I was 20, and he said that happened to him.
Oh. Wow, Barrett! I'm sorry to hear that happened to you. What? She's a weirdo. Why would she do that?
People do that.
That's some desperate ass shit.
People are. It's a lot of evil people in this world.
Yo, are you like for real, bro? Like my eyes have been like this lately. Like what the fuck is going on? But all right,
and thank you, Barrett, for being open
for sharing that. Yeah, and sharing that.
Not a lot of people would have the courage to share, but fair, you know, man. So yeah, thank you for like getting that personal with us. That
That's
means
actually that's great because yeah, we need to hear that because like you were saying earlier, a lot of men don't want to
that was
share those experiences.
And I don't say this often, but fuck that bitch.
Right, fuck that hoe.
his teacher.
It was his
His
teacher.
teacher.
Yeah.
See, that's taking advantage of the situation.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly, Ken.
That's awful. That's awful. I'm
That's
so sorry to hear that,
absolutely
Derek.
awful.
Well, I'm glad she didn't get it, did she?
It's, oh man, and that's
That's so scary. That's why I don't let nobody watch my kids, bro. I don't let no family members watch
that
it.
makes
I don't do
you
shit.
that
I
makes
stay
me
in
a
the house
little
and watch my
emotional
own kids.
because, oh man, that's so frustrating because there's a possibility that Barrett was not the only one.
Right.
And
Yep.
that is so
It's messed up.
despicable.
Right. You can't even trust. Oh, you guys, you can't even trust your own. You can't even trust the school system. There was a principal. Damn it. I put it in my story that just came out that he was having a relationship with one of his students. The principal of like a middle school or a high school, and he was having like a relationship with an underage young lady. And this, of course, they found out. He's supposedly allegedly getting indicted for it, and they're doing an investigation. But I think I posted in my story. I said, "Damn, you can't even trust where your kids go to school, or you can't even trust the teachers, or something." I put on one of my pages. But that is very spooky to me. That's very spooky because
that's nothing new. Like that tends to happen often. There was a woman who she dated a senior and she ended up going to jail. And they made a whole TV movie about it. It was in the story. It was in the news for like a good while. And then she was pregnant with his kid.
I know what you're talking about. It's called American. It's actually on Tubi TV, y'all. Y'all can watch it on Tubi TV.
She was pregnant.
It's called
with
American
his kid,
something.
And then when she got released from jail, they got back together and raised.
Wasn't he Hispanic? He was Hispanic, yes. Right?
Uh-huh.
Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes, that was crazy.
So like relationships sometimes between the educator and the student isn't foreign. Because it's not to say that it's right, because it's not, but it's not foreign. This particular situation with
I know,
like being like having an educator force themselves sexually onto a student, like that to me is heinous.
I agree, and I think they should probably they maybe need to start putting more. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't even know. These people get away with so much stuff. You can put cameras. I don't know, man. It's like there's only so much you can do, and people hide stuff. You don't find out until it's later on. It's like, I don't know. It's a despicable and sick thing to think that there's people out there that target your kids in a sexual manner. So, but with that being said, thank you for sharing your stories, Barrett. We truly appreciate you being open with us. That's what I love about this platform of the show. We do get heated. We get live. We have a good time. We laugh. We have emotional stuff. People come out here and they tell us their experiences. That's a beautiful thing. But I'm glad that you are where you are now. You're a beautiful person and a beautiful spirit. And we love you on The Mic is Hot. And you're going to be coming back on the show soon too, Barrett.
Yeah, and also and everyone else that's like also in the chat that like went through that like trauma as far as being molested at such a young age. Like I commend you, man. Like that's bravery. Like still being able to and like go forward with life because like I have no idea what that's like. You know what I'm saying? Like I've never been molested at a young age by a woman or a man. So it's like that's something that I cannot speak on.
Right, me too.
But just like hearing like so many stories and knowing this about this bear, this is something that I didn't know about you. So this is my first time hearing this. You know what I'm saying? I commend you for like having like the mental capacity like to still go forward in life. And I can only imagine how hard that shit is. You know what I'm saying? It's like
that's why I always say you never know people's story.
And let me speak to him as well. For you not letting that dictate the rest of your life.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like for you not to, for us to be able to look at you and not ever see that or think that or expect something that traumatizing to happen to you is an attestment to how far you've come from it and how much of an amazing individual you've become beyond that.
Yeah, we commend you, Barrett. Thank you for that, Barrett. So we're going to go ahead and end the show on this last topic real quick. This kind of goes in correlation to just childhood traumas. A young girl made a statement. I'm not sure if it was like a conference or something that was going on for young, like teenagers where they could express themselves. But a young girl made a statement about parents causing their own children's traumas. And I'm going to show the clip and I want to know what's your opinions on the statements that she made. Do you agree or disagree? So I'm going to go ahead and pull it on up. We're going to watch this clip. We're going to give our quick opinions and then we're going to close on out. So we're going to start now.
So I literally had a conversation with my mom. I was like, okay, I'm going to tell you stuff and stop me when I get disrespectful. I express my feelings, but that don't happen with everybody. And so when I was standing up here and you guys are like, don't belittle your children, but the whole statement of you're not on my level sounds like belittlement to us. It's saying you don't have as much value as me. You're not as important to me. You don't put up what I put up, so you can't have a say so in what we do. You don't pay bills. You don't own this house. You don't pay for nothing. So and it sounds good. And when you bring up the stuff that you do for your children, it makes us feel like a burden. It makes us feel like I can't wait till I grow up so I don't have to be a burden to you anymore. And you say it's like when people be like your parents had a life before you, it makes you feel like I made you so miserable and bitter and like I just don't want to be here anymore because you don't be here anymore. So why should I be here and put my best foot forward if the person who gave birth to me and made me come in this life doesn't want me? How am I supposed to look at somebody else for love if I feel like I'm not getting love at home? What do you do when you want to have somebody to talk to, but they like you can't talk to them? You go to somebody else to talk to, and that's not who you want us to talk to. How am I supposed to come and talk to you, and you don't listen to me, but somebody else may listen to me, but they're not going to treat me how you want me to be treated? You love me, but you don't show it. But they don't love me, but they act like they love me. So I'm going to go to the person that acts like they love me, and not the person who. I'm going to go to the person who acts like they love me, because when you grow up like and you grow up with people who emotionally stunt your growth, you go looking for other people and you insecure. You go looking for other people for sex, for people who going to tell you, oh, you're pretty. That's why the first person to tell you you're pretty, I'm glad my mama never. They say your parent and your family is your first bully. Point out every insecurity you have, and then you want your kids to feel beautiful and smart and go to school with people who telling them the same thing you tell them. That's not going to work. You can't want to be your children's love and shelter, but you're not that. But that's materialistic things. If God was only materialistic to you, you will feel hurt. You need to have your spirit be healed. You need to have your spirit be fed. It's okay to have clothes and shoes and all this stuff, but what about my spirit? What about my emotions? What about my mental state? You can't be. You look pretty on the outside. You got me nice shoes. You got me nice things. But I'm sure on the inside. It was good on the outside. Don't focus on the outside so much that you don't waste time. You say you listen to your children, but 9 times.
Okay, I'll pause it.
I'm sorry. I'm done with the script. I'm done with the script.
Okay, so she goes on. She does elaborate a little longer, but from what you guys did see, since we are over time, we can just do a short clip. From what you guys did see, do you agree or disagree with the statements that she said? And does some of these things have an effect on childhood traumas for kids as they become adults?
Listen, to a certain extent, like I kind of see her point when she's talking about like a deadbeat dad or a deadbeat mom that clearly show that they do not give a shit about their children. Take for example, that mom, you know, who like we clearly know now that was just it was all fake. It was all fabricated. You know what I'm saying? Like, really show that she did not give about, you know, like the child that received McDonald's or her other 3 kids, you know, from her 3 different baby daddies, that she did not give a fuck about, only gave a fuck about herself. So I think, you know, like this girl's message is only directed towards like certain parents, you know, which is like, all right, I get it. But when you're talking about a parent that like provides for you as far as like clothes on your back, food on the table, roof over your head, you know, providing you with like, you know, proper education, especially if it's like homeschooling, which I meant for like all parents, you know, at least when I have kids, I'm going with homeschooling just because like the shootings in school nowadays.
Yeah, I agree with you. A lot of people are thinking about that.
But my thing is like, so she's trying to correlate that with like, I need my parents to be my friends and like they need to understand my feelings and they need to talk to me about anything and everything. It's like, all right, maybe in a fictional world or a non-fictional world, that I can see your point, but it's like in the real world, it's like, I'm sorry, I'm your parent. Mm-hmm. I'm not your fucking friend. All right? You make friends for them. But it's like my job is to make sure that I provide you with the very best as far as like food, clothing, education, you know, all of that. But it's like yes, it is a parent's job to also like, you know, to do their due diligence as far as like teaching their kids, you know, like just the proper skills of like how to talk to them, how
manners, right?
And pregnancy, STDs, and like all this other shit. But my main job is like to prepare you for like real life situation, like not to be a friend. Because in the end, I'm not your friend. I'm your mother. I'm your father.
Right.
And so it's just like, I just feel nowadays like a lot of the modern children nowadays, like they're so fucking entitled.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
For all this shit, you know, and it's kind of like, yo, like, because she was talking about like, I have no say on like certain things. Kind of like, no, you don't.
Right.
You don't have to fucking say in this shit. I'm just like, I'm sorry. Do you fucking pay bills here?
Right.
No, shut the fuck up. Are you living in my house? No, yes, you are. So shut the fuck up. All right, fine. You want to go live in such and such? Go ahead. See how long they take care of you. Like, if I'm actually a parent doing my job and taking care of you, but apparently that's not good enough for you, then fine. You go ahead and go with someone else who what did she say? Pretends that they like you. Pretends that they love you.
Just because they'll listen to you. Just because they'll listen to you.
But see how long that lasts.
Right.
See how long that lasts. Because that's not real love. That's not real parenting. All right, I'm sorry. There's no parent that's going to be perfect. There's no such thing as a parent.
That's true. That is true.
She needs to stop like this fantasy that like, you know, you're supposed to have that's like almost asking for the perfect boyfriend, the perfect husband, the perfect wife. No, that doesn't exist.
Right.
Fuck up just like children fuck up.
Right.
So like she's like, to a certain extent, I see where she's coming from, but like she's living in a fantasy world. So
you don't agree with everything that she said.
I don't agree with everything that she says.
Okay. I mean that I with some of the stuff that you said, I agree. And then I came from a mother that that shit that you said on camera, you couldn't express that, you know, or you might be able to maybe as you got older, but you knew. I feel like in my generation, you kind of knew your place as a child. you kind of knew what not to say, what not to do, because you already knew what the consequences were. My mom's going to beat my ass. I'm going to get a whooping, not beat my ass, get a whooping, or I might get something taken away. She's going to put me on punishment. I'm not going to be able to hang out with my friends. But now I feel like nowadays these kids kind of like to bargain with you. And I don't really think I don't think that should be acceptable because they're a child.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. Like, I think it's fair enough for her to ask her parents,
right?
Hey,
of course.
Andy, try to see my point of view. Talk to me. You know, try to see like through like you used to be a kid yourself. You know what I'm saying? So like, all she's asking for is like, try to see my point of view and shit. But at the same time, it's like, know your fucking place.
Right. I agree with that too.
Child. And hey, shit, okay. You think you know everything? You think you know about life? You think you know how to take care of yourself? Go on. I'm not forcing you to be here.
Right. What do you think, Ken? What is your, because you look very inquisitive right now.
Yeah, I kind of agree with her. I think in terms of, she wasn't coming off from a sense of like, I'm just about to talk to my mom any kind of way. She started the conversation with saying, Mom, if ever I become disrespectful, stop me.
Right.
Like, here are some things that are on my mind. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's in terms of trying to have understanding as to how this world works, and then hoping that your parent is going to instill into you the tools to be able to succeed on the outside, right? But if you're constantly cutting down that child within the household, then you set them up for searching for love and respect outside of the household. It's the same thing as in a particular relationship between a man and woman. If the woman is constantly cutting down, listen to me for a second. It's the same thing of how you talk to a person, right? So like, it's a fight or flight type of situation regardless, because that person is a human, and once they start to develop a personality or start to take into their adulthood, I guess you could say, they tend to start to protect who they are, and so then you tend to go on the outside if you feel like you're constantly being disrespected and searching for it elsewhere, right? But I'm talking about in terms of her saying, like, I want to be able to come to my mom and to be able to talk to her about things that are plaguing me, so I have an understanding of how this world works. You know what I mean?
Okay, I can see that. I can see that perspective.
There's nothing wrong with having understanding, and I would rather you come to me as a parent rather than to someone out there who don't know no better. You know what I mean? So I want to be able to leave that door open so I can be able to have an open dialogue, especially if you're her age and she's able to understand. Like, this girl has like the wherewithal, and she's incredibly intelligent.
She must be like she seems like a teenager.
Yeah, and so like, I feel like she has all of those questions, or she's really saying this to the panel because the panel
might have arose those questions.
Said to the point of what was the title of the video? When you say to me, like, you're not on my level, right?
Oh yeah, it says young girl, hold on.
Right. So,
calls their children's trauma, says statements like, you're not on my level.
Right. So like, when you say certain things to a child, like saying like, you're not on my level, so I don't necessarily have to explain certain things to you. Yes, to a certain degree, you know what I mean? It depends on what you're talking about specifically. Right.
Okay.
When you're talking about things that affect this child's life and that they need a little bit more clarity on,
or
to cut
guidance.
them off and make them feel as though like they're saying the wrong thing when they're out there, they're being exposed to it. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want them to seek answers elsewhere when you have the answers. It's our
Right.
jobs as parents to be able to give them the tools to be able to go out into this world and survive. And a lot of that is much more than just providing them food and shelter. It's it it takes on so much more. It's more about instilling confidence into this person so that when they get a compliment out there, they already know that about themselves and that is reassured to them. They already know that they're beautiful because my mom has told me
Oh,
constantly
me.
that I'm beautiful. You know what I
Right.
mean? As opposed to getting drunk off of a compliment
Right.
because someone has told you that you're beautiful and you go, really? You know, you
Right.
don't want that. You want to be like, oh, thank you. Thank you for noticing. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Because I
Right.
know that
Right.
about
Right.
myself.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't want someone to have that much hold on you outside. And the only way to be able to make sure that that person is not swayed by the outside is making sure that they have the confidence inside.
I agree with that.
Building them up and making sure that they have all the answers from their mom or their dad. So when they go out there, they can't just be swayed by any little
Other
thing.
people.
You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like, because that's
Mm-hmm.
how you get drug addicts. That's how you
Yep.
get alcoholics. That's how you
Yep.
get all these people who are out there trying to find their situation or trying to fill a void that they could have gotten right at home.
I agree with you on that perspective, but at the same time, I am there with Michael in the sense that where you say, now, Ken, I do agree when you say it depends. Like if they say, like if it's certain things I'm talking about and I say, hey, you're not on my level, like my kids, if I'm having a conversation with y'all or another adult, my kids are not supposed to chime in on that conversation.
Yeah, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about.
No, I know. I'm just saying, as far as when you said it depends on it, like when she said, don't, speak and you're not on my level, certain things they are not supposed to impose on because they're not on your level. Yeah. But when it comes to.
Right, we're not talking about imposing on that. We're talking about specifically coming to them asking for advice about a situation that they are outside, right?
Right. No, of course you want your kids to come to you than people out there.
Right. I'm not talking about them hearing what we have to say.
Oh, yo, I know you're not. I was just saying the different levels. I know you're not saying that. I was just simply saying that's where I would say, hey, you ain't on my level. You need. Right. Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
Isn't that what she said in the video as far as like my input? Like she didn't specifically say what her input, what was being on, but if she was like referring to like bills or anything like that, then it's like, yeah, little girl, like you're not on my fucking level when it comes to this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like
she wasn't saying that she was putting emphasis or imparting on bills and things of that nature. She says because they take care of the bills, they automatically think that you don't know what you're talking about. You're not on my level because I pay the bills.
I pay the bills.
I run this household and things of that nature. Because they take care of all of those things, that's how they then thus act towards her afterwards.
And dismiss her. Like this kind of like a dismissive thing. Like
exactly, they dismiss her.
I get that. But and like you were just saying earlier, Ken, like, yeah, when it comes to like, social issues or like, like I don't want to be that parent that my kids come and talk to about anything. I'll do my best, you know what I'm saying, to provide them with the best knowledge on like whatever the situation, whatever the circumstance is. I think an old friend of mine, like he just put up, like you can't negotiate with a developing brain that doesn't grasp everything that's going on. And I agree 100%. I agree with that 100%.
Right, but it's our job to help them develop, right?
Absolutely.
So
but
like it's our job to be able to usher them in to
Yeah, but
to
still,
society.
I agree. I agree 100%. But still, even though that's our job, we still don't know everything as parents. We just don't.
That's
We
true
we
too.
very best
It's to a
to
certain
provide
degree of where
information,
the
but we
parents
still
have
don't
made
know
her feel. It's to a certain degree where the parents have made her feel less than, right?
Maybe in
So
her personal experience, yeah.
so
Mm-hmm.
she was saying that because she doesn't necessarily pay the bills and things of that nature, that she feels like when that is being used constantly and thrown into her face, that then she, as a person, as a child, is now a burden onto her parents.
I can understand.
Whereas,
Right.
whereas it's up to that parent to
To not
tell
make her
them
feel
that they are
right.
not a
Not
burden. You know
right,
what I
right,
mean? Or
right.
that this is what happens when you get to a certain age. These are the things that you have to do, right? You're at an age right now where you don't have to worry about all of these things. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
I
right.
am here to be able to help and
Help you.
provide and usher you in and make sure that whatever you need, you have, right?
Right.
And
That's your job as the parent.
we have a roof over our heads and we're eating off the, certain things like that. It's
Right.
but it takes saying that.
Yeah,
It
yeah. I get
takes
what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
it takes reiterating that
I was just
sometimes,
about to say that, reiterating
because
it.
for them to automatically for
For it
sometimes
to be
parents just
embedded.
think automatically, you don't see what I do for you every
Right.
day.
Yeah.
You know what I
Especially
mean?
black parents. Especially black parents.
Because they feel as though because they feel as though that they've lost some respect because it's not being acknowledged by the child, right?
And
but
children aren't
But
gonna acknowledge that. They're
and
not gonna acknowledge that.
they
sensitive
won't.
people
But to
like
reiterate
that
that and to
all teens
say it,
now are respectful towards their parents
huh?
because
Huh?
they're not saying let's not cap and like act like like modern teenagers nowadays are respectful to their parents.
No, we're
And
saying
that
we're
they like do provide and protect them and like provide them with like certain needs that they need in order to like go on with life.
we're
And
not
like and
talking
sometimes,
about when
like
they get
they
disrespectful.
question them as
No,
parents and not in a respectful way.
no,
We're not talking about when they get disrespectful, because then of course, yes, you
then
can
they're out of
reprimand.
line. Right.
You
Then
can
they're out of
reprimand them
line.
when you get
Yeah.
disrespectful, for sure.
Right.
We're not saying that. I'm saying specifically if she needs clarity on something, right?
Right.
It's up to the parent to provide
The
clarity.
clarity. Yeah, no, I agree with that.
It's
I agree with that.
it's up to you as to what you say to be able to provide clarity. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to tell them everything about the books and all the bills that you pay.
Right,
You
right,
know what I
right, right,
mean? But
right.
as long as they understand that this is what you do when you get to a certain age, and when you have kids, you're gonna be
Then
in the same. You're gonna be in the same
exactly.
boat. You know what I mean?
Yup,
That's the
yup.
type of conversation that you have with your child, as opposed to saying you're not on my level because you don't pay no bills in this house and blah blah whatever. Like, you don't want them to get used to that type of verbal abuse, because when they do, they will seek that elsewhere. And every single time that they come across a person, they will continuously find a person who will talk to them that way, because that's what they're used to.
Too, right. And
And
you
then
don't
you
want them to be so
and then you
scared where they can't come to you
and then you confused as to why they with this person who keeps on berating them
and not
and
you.
yelling at them, and not
Right,
you about a particular
right.
situation, or they're in a relationship with someone who's being
Mm-hmm,
abusive to them
mm-hmm,
because you
mm-hmm,
raised them in abuse. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
So it's
So it's
like,
like the norm. It's like the norm to them. It's almost normal. They can't even reflect
exactly.
that it's affecting them in a negative way.
We have to break the cycle of parents who parent in a way that they can't necessarily I wish that I had a strong relationship with my parents when I was younger, like I have with them now.
Me too, because I'm gonna tell you right now, my mom, I was an only child. I was the only girl. I was sheltered as hell. I couldn't do anything. I didn't have my first real boyfriend until I was damn near 18. And there was a lot of things, I'm not even gonna lie, a lot of things I wanted to talk to my mom about. I was scared to talk to her about because I didn't know what type of response I was going to get. Like, girl, you don't need to be coming to me about that. Worry about something else. You don't need to be asking me that. That's not,
That's
that
who
type
you're
of stuff.
supposed to go to.
Right.
But
And
but that's
yeah,
what I'm saying though. It's kind of like we have no idea when this girl's talking about like I should be able to come to my parents and talk to them about this, that, and whatever. It's like her parents might be actually doing that, but because she's young and she's still developing as a fucking human being,
you might not recognize it.
and like I wish
No,
that I knew
no,
now what I knew, like now what
that
I
was
knew
her
back
whole
then, like
speech.
what my parents were trying to tell me because I didn't understand that. We don't know if that girl's going through the same goddamn thing.
That was her whole speech, was that she has had this conversation with her mom.
Yeah, but but
She
again,
was
that's coming
talking to
from
the
her
panel because the
perspective.
panel was saying, you're not on my level. She was talking to the panel because she said that she's had open dialogue with her mom. She started the conversation with saying, I spoke with my mom and I said, Mom, if ever I get too disrespectful, stop me. But
Right.
here's what I feel. And she was having the back and forth dialogue with her mom, and she was letting them in on the conversation that she had with her mom. It wasn't that she was complaining about certain things.
I think she was directing it towards the panel.
She was expressing to them
Yeah.
how everyone should parent, right? Because she said something, they said something that she didn't necessarily agree with.
You're not on my level, right?
And then she expressed to them the conversation that she has had with her mother.
That's why she referenced that.
Where she said, Mom, there are times when you say this and there are times when you say that, or because you blah blah. She broke it down. So it wasn't that she was complaining. It was that she was expressing to them, like, we need to break that cycle of being like, you're beneath me because you live under my roof and under my house. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't ask to be brought into this life.
Shady, I don't know if he's still in the building, but he said the same thing. He said his mom, he said, King Shady is another one of our followers and fans on the show. He also said that his parents used to tell him things like, you're going to do what I tell you to do. I brought you into this world. And he said he would never say to his parents to their face because it was disrespectful, but he might say to himself or under his breath, you brought me into this world. I did not ask for you to bring me into this world.
And not to discount, like, thank you for bringing me into this world.
Bringing me in, right? Thank you.
Thank you. But I would hope that by you making that choice to bring me into this world, treat me with a little bit more respect as opposed to thinking that I'm always beneath. You know what I mean? Like, it's.
Well, what do you mean by treating me for a little bit more respect?
So not always talking down to me abusively, right? So like there are certain things as parents, like, we can be able to say to our children, and if they do get out of line, then of course you reprimand them because of it, right?
Right.
But in certain situations where you get into the habit of reprimanding, so you're always yelling.
Reprimanding,
always,
I've been guilty of that.
Because you've gotten into a habit of doing so. And
I think that's easier said than done because, like, you and me we're not parents, and it's like Christina just admitted herself.
It's not easier said than done. Just do it.
She's done that.
But I think also a lot of it comes from me being a single mother. I have so much on me. I work a full-time job. I take care of 2 kids full-time. The father is not involved at all in helping me raise them, giving me money financially. So I'm already like on edge. So
And
I even have to
sometimes,
catch myself when because I notice sometimes
your
my other
patience,
son does it.
and sometimes your
Right,
patience is shorter because you were not prepared for this,
right,
or you were thrown
right,
into this situation before you were ready for it.
right.
So
That's
you're quick
exactly
to anger because, and you're yelling at this particular child because not
because you just want
even
to yell
more
at them.
so than you would normally. You know what I mean?
Right,
Just because you're frustrated out of this situation, or because you've
right.
gotten so far into this, like you've gotten used to that type of behavior, but it shouldn't always be that. It shouldn't
And
always
on
be that.
And
I
he's
think
right, honestly. My mom has to check me all the time because a lot of it comes from me being tired, frustrated. Like, I just want to get it done. I just want to get it over. Go sit down. Go sit down. Go do this. Go do that. Stop doing that. Stop hitting your breath. I said stop. I said that. And, you have to catch yourself because it can affect the kids and the kids absorb that energy. My mom was just telling this to me today, and I've been working on that with my son, my oldest son. He's starting to do it to his little brother. When he gets frustrated, he's yelling and things like that. Or I don't get physical with
But
them, but my son,
kids are gonna do that, right? And then
right,
we're gonna reprimand them for doing those things.
right,
But I'm talking.
exactly, which I do. It's weird. I'm like, don't do that to your brother. But then I find myself doing it sometimes yelling.
I'm talking about when it gets to their a little bit more formative years, where they're starting
Okay.
to become a person. You know
I
what I
got
mean?
you. They're
Where they're
teenage
starting
years where
to
they're going through that puberty. They're trying to find themselves. They're
when they're starting to
changing.
understand how like the world works, but they don't
Right.
understand. It's
Right.
certain
I got
things
you.
where
That transition.
when you have to have a little bit of an open dialogue to be able to get them to understand a little bit more. And there's nothing wrong with them understanding more.
Right.
I
That's
feel like it's the
but they're not
moment
going to
that we start
from
cutting
you. They're
off,
going to go out and see the answers elsewhere.
huh?
They're not going to get all the answers from you or from the mother or the father. They're still going to go out and get the answers elsewhere. So it's
And
like,
they might do that.
But
And they
but let's
might.
but then we have to take that journey together then. We have to take that
Right.
journey together. If I don't know the answer, then we need to figure that out. You know what I mean? But I
what
don't
I
want you going out there trying to figure it all out by yourself.
No,
but
right.
as you can't sit up here and tell me that like as a
I'm here
child
as fuck.
your like parents tutelage, like you didn't try to go out and figure things out on your own. I know I did that,
I did
Christina.
too. I
And
did
that's
too. I definitely did. But
Because
I think
just a part of life.
my parents
Not
didn't leave
like
it open for
everything
me to
that's
be able
mom
to
and dad.
come to them about it.
that's what I was
What?
going to say.
That's the reason why you tend to venture out and try and figure those things out, because the parents close off that wall to make you feel as though that you can't go to them.
And
That's
we came.
Closing off a wall or just the ambition of like just exploring or like just finding things out on my own. It's like, okay, my mom and dad say this thing about, but it's like, okay, that's interesting. I want to explore this on my own. I'm old enough. I feel like I'm responsible enough to like just figure shit out on my own. It's not because they necessarily like close. All right, let's say yeah, they necessarily like they close things off, but it's like I want to figure this out on my own. I want to see if they're right or if I feel the
I'm not
thing
saying
in
that
my
that's wrong.
perspective.
Right.
You
Because
know,
I was the
I'm
same
not
way.
saying
I
that
was the
that's
same way.
wrong.
My mom would tell me some things, and some things that she did tell me, she told me straight out. And I still was like, I want to see for myself.
yeah, that's all I'm saying. It's like, you know,
But that's just experience. I think that's just I think that just depends on the person too, because you got some people that will literally go by everything that their parents tell them, and you got some of us that are like, our parents will still tell us, but we be like, you know what, I want to go over there and see anyway. I
Yeah,
think that just depends upon the person.
my whole thing is the problem with what she was saying is when you go to your parents and they say, don't ask me that, you're not on my level.
Right. That's where you're shutting that wall. You're putting up that wall.
If you choose to find more information beyond what they tell you,
Right.
That's your felicity,
Fine.
and you have
Right.
every right to be able to do so by all
Mm-hmm.
means. But
Mm-hmm.
I would want my child to be able to come to me first,
Right.
as opposed to automatically going outward
Right.
and me not
Right.
knowing about the situation at all. I would
Right.
rather them be able to come to me and me have that open dialogue with them, and then I did all that I could, right?
Right. I was just about to say
I
that.
gave them the information that I know, right?
Right.
And
That's
then
all I'm
they can, and as an
saying.
adult, you can take
Right.
that and do whatever you want with
You
it.
want
As
with
an
it.
adult,
Yep.
you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
but not even as an adult, still as a teenager, like they still like I did that. You know what I'm saying? Like
I
Even
did
as a
too.
teenager,
I
even as
did
a
too.
teenager,
I did
I
too.
feel
Yeah.
like teenagers are going to have teenage
and give them
questions.
a
They can't have adult questions because they haven't
They're
ventured
not
out to be
adult.
adults yet. They're
Right.
going to
Right.
ask you certain questions that they're being exposed to
Dude,
as
right.
teenagers. If they're asking you a question, that means that they've already been exposed
Goes
to
to
that
it.
topic
Mm-hmm.
already. They're just
Yup.
trying to see what you
What you
say,
gonna say?
and if
Yup.
you're going to tell them the truth about it.
Yup.
And if they feel as though you're withholding the truth, that's when they
That's
go
when they
out
go out.
and start
Exactly.
looking for the
Yup.
actual truth.
Yup. Yup.
But
That's
they will
100.
believe what you have to say
Right.
when you say it. They will believe
Right.
it. It's just if they don't, if something in their spirit says, "Mama not telling me everything,
She ain't
Daddy
telling the
not
truth.
telling me everything," I'm
Right. I'm gonna
get
find
on
out
this internet,
everything.
or
Right.
I'm gonna look up a TikTok or something,
Right.
and then
And
as I
I'm gonna
find
find out
out that she was
everything.
omitting or not telling me the full truth, then it makes it a
Mm-hmm.
little bit harder for that child to be able to go back to that parent, because they think, oh, you're trying to protect me from the world out there when I need to know about the world.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's going to happen more than often now.
Mm-hmm.
Like back then, you know what I'm saying? It was easier if, as a parent, if you wanted to hide your child from like exposure to like whatever thing that you have against, or you're not, or you're opposed of, whether it be like certain religions, sex, homosexuality, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But like now, it's like it just takes a click of a button to like, you know, expand like a child's curiosity on like whatever. And then you go to your parents and be like, hey mom, what is this and that? And your
They will
mom or your
still have
something.
questions.
And it's
Yeah,
kind of like
Even if they
like,
look it up,
like now, if you're
even
more
if they look it
accessible
up,
than
they
ever,
will still have questions.
question that. Like that's gonna be more often than not now. Like back then it was a lot easier.
Oh yeah, they are. That's very true. They're gonna be they're more exposed. But it's okay if they do, but they're comfortable enough to come and ask you questions about what they're being exposed to. And then as a parent,
we have to adapt to the time.
And you gotta limit if you can,
yes,
which is hard to do.
Like we talked about last week.
Yeah, you gotta limit what your kids are seeing, phones, tablets, all that stuff. Because what they're gonna be exposed to is honestly what you allow them to be exposed to.
Right.
So, but with that being said, that was very well put, fellas. Very well, great freaking show tonight. I told y'all we was gonna be live tonight. I told y'all we was gonna be lit tonight. I told y'all we was gonna have some good topics tonight. It got a little heated.
Fuck you, Christina.
I gotta get out of this seat.
I'm about to take shit from you. Since I think we'll be able to fuck you up.
I'm sorry, we got a little heated doing the Roe versus Wade, but it's part of the show. We get a little heated sometimes. It's all love. We all expressed our opinions. I love how everybody came on here tonight like clockwork. Thank you to Barrett, who opened up about his personal experiences with no hold back as well. Commend you, my brother. Everybody else, Nova, thank you for being so active tonight on the show and putting your comments in. To anybody that thought I was mad, I was not mad. I was just very passionate about how. No, I wasn't. I was not mad. I was not mad.
Yes, you was.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't mad.
I
was
mean, you
just
was
getting.
passionate about that last topic.
No, that's what it is. You weren't mad. You were passionate.
You were
passionate.
First of
I
all,
was.
this is mad. That's mad. I'm getting heated in this motherfucker. No, because what I'm about to tell you.
That was passion.
No.
Okay? a little sweat never hurt nobody. No, I'm just like, no, I wasn't mad. I was just really trying to get my point across because I've been people always say that about the whole not voting thing, but I really wanted you guys to hear it from my point of view and not be crucified for it.
It's okay to be mad. It's okay.
I wasn't mad. I'm not mad. I never am mad at y'all.
It's just right. It's not being mad at us.
No, I wasn't mad at y'all.
You can be mad at the situation. You can be mad.
That's what it was.
Right. Or that you're not gonna hold a grudge. That's fine. It's okay to be mad. I've been mad plenty of times.
No, but I just don't want. I don't want you guys in the audience to think that I'm just wild. And no, I was just, when it comes to politics though, I get lit. I get lit. So
right, for real, in real life.
That might not be the last time y'all see me get some energy. But that's good for the show. It's good for the show.
This is keeping it together.
Yeah. Well, it's understandable you get mad for politics because it's going to affect us. And not just affect us, it's going to affect our children and our children's children and so on. So it's like you have the right to be pissed off about it because, again, I understood where you're coming from because, like, the last presidential election, I didn't vote. I voted for me. I didn't want Biden in there or Trump.
Me neither. Not them last two ones.
But I gotta go, y'all. I gotta go.
Peace. Love you. Peace. Well, we're gonna go ahead and close out. But thank you, Michael, for we got mutual there. But I love everybody. Thank you tonight. It was an awesome show. Y'all know the vibes. Next week, be back again Thursday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 6:30 p.m. Western Time. We love you and have a good night. Peace.
Good night.
Okay, so it's stuck. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning into the live tonight. I'm sorry, I'm like trying to maneuver all different angles, but we went way over our time. It's 3 hours long. We had a really good time tonight. It got heated on the show tonight, but it makes for a great show. We get intense, we laugh, we love, we get emotional, we get a little heated. It's all good. Thank you to everybody that's been supporting the show. I love you. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, a blessed weekend. Take care. Y'all know the vibes. See us next week. Every Thursday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 6:30 p.m. Western Time. I love you all, and thank you for tuning in. Y'all know the vibes. See you next week. Peace.